tell you you're the queen of my heart, please don't deceive me when I hurt you. Just say it the way it seems. Can you feel my love buzz? 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 Would you believe me if I tell you you're the queen of my heart? Please don't deceive me when I hurt you. Just say it the way it seems. Can you feel my love buzz? 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 Can you feel my love buzz?
Then science came along and taught us that we are not the measure of all things, that there are wonders unimagined, that the universe is not obliged to conform to what was considered comfortable or plausible.
Then, over millions of years, evolution took its course. Of course, I'm obligated by the state of Kansas to present the church's alternative to the theory of evolution.
Touch it.
What? You touch it. You afraid? No, touch it.
You totally didn't touch it.
Well, then you touch it.
Systems, the company store, the paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murder scum. They're on giant death factories keeping babies alive. They're selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we're She sleeps in the same room with that creepy weirdo woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Literal vampire pot and the goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. Tell your daughter at the mall. Tell your wife, your son.
Oh, excuse me.
We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good, oh, they're so sweet.
I was watching Fox News as I worked out this.
Hello, hello, my beauties and bees. Yeah, you might have heard me coughing backstage, but I was not indulging in the use of marijuana, and I think that that's an unfounded rumor that we just need to put to rest right now. I was a dare kid, god damn it. I was a dare kid. So, how dare you, sir? Don't even look down here. What's going on down here? Because you don't need to see that. I do want to start off by saying good morning, my beauties and bees. It is another lovely Saturday. It is August 2nd. We are already in August. Holy crap. Feels like I just got down here and it's already almost time to leave. That's the way the cookie crumbles, though. I want to say thank you to Who's Your Buddy for sending 10 gift memberships right out the door this morning. We have Sapphire, we have Right-Handed Seth, we have Blaster Master, Weston Campbell, My Unfinished Journey, Patty Troy, My Unfinished Sock. So I got both the unfinished folks. And then we got Triceratops, Calasia, and my favorite on this list is Bo B, my roommate, who lives right across the hall from me and actually checks in on me and makes sure I'm okay all the time. Such a sweet guy. Uh-huh. My birthday month. Is it your birthday month? I think today is Math Pig's birthday too, so you might see his name up there. Right about there. Yes, that's Math Pig. Happy birthday, Math Pig. Unless you put the wrong fake birthday up on your thing, which is possible. I mean, that could happen. Oh, good morning, party people, says Patty. Good morning, Patty. I'm starting my morning off right with my morning coffee, which will get me going, over that hump. But while we're hanging out before the show really gets rolling, I wanted to let's just take a real quick look at the polls because this week we had Charming the Serpents is still on there. I guess people aren't really that interested in snake charming. I think it's the longest anything's been on any of my polls so far. But yeah, we will discuss that when that episode comes out. Then we have the animals trapped in stone. This fighting frogs and even Mesozoic reptiles trapped inside giant geodes and stones and things of that nature. So Don't miss that episode when we get to it. And then there's the Eye of the Sahara, which, if you did not know, the Eye of the Sahara used to be the lost city of Atlantis or something like that. I don't know. Let's find out, because there's lots of woo woo surrounding it. But today, and today only, well, not today only, because I'll play it again at some point. We're doing Hollywood clones, because did you know that many of your favorite music and screen stars are not actually the originals, but clones that were created in laboratories? Yeah, so stick around for later in the show when we find out about Hollywood clones. Before we get to our week in weird, we have to go through Cryptic Corner, and when we go through Cryptic Corner, things get creepy. And our creepy lineup this week looked pretty spooky indeed. We have the Big Buddy Monster, which is a hairy hominid of the violent sort. So if you want to find out people getting their uh, shit kicked in by a Sasquatch, it's right here. And then we had the Nandy Bear, which has also been on here for a while, not nearly as long as the serpent taming, but or serpent charming, but it's it's a cryptid bear from Africa. It might be a bear, it might be a giant hyena. Who knows? We'll find out. And then all the way over on the other side of the world, on the island of Japan, you have the Kushisaki Onna, which is a ghost with a big smiley face. That's like, "Ugh." And then, yeah, she's got her mouth cut and stuff. It's spooky. It's spooky. She's spooky. But this week, it's first time on the poll and won right away. Won the poll right away without even any kind of real struggle. I mean, the closest thing was this one up here. But the Blackbird of Chernobyl. Now, the Blackbird of Chernobyl is presented in a few different ways. A lot of times it's presented. I shouldn't even get into it. But it's a cryptid bird from Chernobyl, Ukraine. In Ukraine, Chernobyl's like close to the border, like with Ukraine, and we'll look at the map too. Don't worry, we'll get into it in a second. Yeah, if you didn't check it out last night, yeah, if you didn't check it out last night, I had Helen Green on, and we took on Sylvia Brown for Charlatans Web. So. Sylvia Brown was a psychic prominent on daytime TV and a prolific author in the New Age community throughout the 80s, or more so the 90s. Yeah, I would say more so the 90s. Throughout the 90s and early 2000s. She passed away in 2013, but we managed to pull enough stuff from her to give her a once over. Now, Helen used to be part of used to be the main office secretary at one of these psychic universities. So it was pretty fun to hear her insight about these deep trance mediums and things like that. Because a deep trance medium, they go all out and like say that they're possessed by your family member and try to act like them and stuff. It's really weird. But anyway, Sylvia Brown last night. And at the end of the show, if you stick around long enough, a leopard just might eat your face, because there's a reason why we use the leopard of all animals as the will eat your face party, because, well, you'll see when we get there, but leopards have a taste for humans, and you don't want to miss out on that. Let's see. Nuclear radioactive. Oh goodness, radioactive raven. I am also spooky. You are spooky. I'm spookiest though. You can be spooky too though. We need I guess me, you, and Amber can be the weird sisters. Uh-oh, there's the Cryptic Corner alarm. But yeah, we are gonna. So to recap what we've got what we've got here, we're gonna be doing Blackbird of Chernobyl right now. Then after that, we're going to go into Hollywood clones, and then the leopards are going to eat our face for Bree's bestiality. So without further ado, let's move right in. Hello, hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome to another installment of Cryptic Corner, where we explore the unexplained, the supernatural, the paranormal and hidden, the mysterious, the alien, the accursed, and the forbidden. I'm your host, Miss Bumblebee, and yeah, welcome once again to our Saturday morning show that we do live with my live from the Hive audience. You can see them right there popping up in the chat there, and you can be part of that Saturday morning audience too. You just join us at 7:30 Pacific, at 8:30 Mountain, at 9:30 Central, at 10:30 Eastern, and you can be here live participating in the greatest Saturday morning show on YouTube, the greatest, which is live from the Hive. We have special guests sometimes, like Dragons and Genesis was one of our special guests. Look, Jason just popped in. Hello, hello, and good morning. You can join us live every Saturday morning, or if you want to catch the premiere, it's on Friday nights. The time slot kind of bounces around a little bit. I'm still trying to find a good place for it to fit in, but it'll be on Friday nights, and I may or may not be there when it premieres because sometimes on Friday nights I have dates and events with friends and stuff I go to, but I like to keep things consistent so everybody has at least one place to hang out. I was doing it at midnight, but it was not getting a great turnout, so I've kind of reeled it back. Anyway, the topic for today, of course, is the blackbird of Chernobyl. And no, this blackbird was not created by nuclear fallout because this guy showed up before the meltdown. The blackbird of Chernobyl is more like a harbinger. It's more like Mothman in that way. But I figured I would let a new channel give us the rundown on it, and we can poke it apart from there. This is Scare Mail. Smallest channel. I mean, way bigger than me, but like 8 times, almost 9 times bigger than me, but still a small channel without very many videos. At least not very many videos that are still up. I have hundreds of videos. I don't ever take anything down. All right, so yeah, they got alien videos. We got murder mysteries. What the heck are those frogmen? Black-eyed children, of course. But we are going to focus on a video from a year ago about the blackbird of Chernobyl. And yes, this person does use AI, but at least they're using it in a more they cinematic way. But well, you'll see. You'll see what I mean. All right. All right, hold on. He just started talking as soon as I clicked over it like a jerk. Come on. Ukrainian Mothman, exactly. That's what we get. That's what we're coming down to. Ukrainian Mothman. All right, here we go.
Dear Scare Mail. In the shadow of the Chernobyl nuclear facility and in the nearby town of Pripyat, an inexplicable phenomenon occurred just weeks before the infamous disaster. Witnesses reported sightings of a towering, human-like raven, a creature that defied explanation and instilled deep-seated dread. Those who encountered this monstrous black bird were plagued by nightmares, an ominous foreshadowing of the impending catastrophe. Little did they know, these sightings would serve as a chilling harbinger for a disaster that would claim thousands of lives and permanently scar the land. Join me as we delve into 5 crucial witness accounts.
5 crucial witness accounts, and no mention of the word eagle at all. So it could have been a stellar sea eagle or something, but or a golden eagle.
A piece of the puzzle in the terrifying mystery that preceded one of history's worst nuclear accidents. Prepare yourself for the haunting tale of the Black Bird of Chernobyl. But first, What's up, guys? My name's Andrew, and I run the Scare Mail channel. Pardon my brief absence, I was away for medical leave, but I am back and ready to entertain better than ever. If you like ghosts, aliens, cryptids, and
I
other
do, but I
supernatural
don't know
scary
your
stories,
lore
then
enough
feel
to be
free-
interested in
Without-
this. Alright. The names... Hold on, what'd that say? The names of those involved were never released to the public, therefore their names have been changed. Of course. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. On April 15th, 1986, I was 3 years old. 3 years old. I was alive for this, though.
A mist covered the farmlands of Pripyat as Ivan Petrov, a local farmer, sat down for breakfast on what should have been an ordinary spring morning around 5 a.m. While he and his wife were eating, something alarming came to Ivan's attention. A stir could be heard coming from the barn nearby, as if something had wandered in and startled all the livestock, fearing for
I heard a goat scream. Did you guys hear a goat scream? I did.
the worst. Ivan readied his rifle and ran out to the fields, hoping to fend off whatever predator was threatening his cattle. Only, Ivan had no idea what kind of creature he'd encounter. Once he arrived outside, Ivan noticed a dense fog covering the fields, which made it difficult to see what was going on at the barn. So, without even thinking,
Don't go in the barn. That could have been the name for Friday the 13th Part 3. No, the names have been changed to protect the guilty. Are we sure about that? Uh-huh.
Ivan took off running straight for the barn. The closer he got, the more unsettled he became. Ivan started sweating all of a sudden and was overcome with anxiety despite feeling in control of the situation. Even more strange was that all the
Yeah, with that big old clip, you look like you're in control of the situation. What are you planning on running into out there, Ivan? I would have expected Ivan as a regular farmer to just have like a hunting rifle in Ukraine, but I guess with everything going on in Ukraine right now, I'd understand carrying a big old is that a clip or a magazine? I don't know the difference. I'm not a gun person, gun woman, whatever. I am like pro gun rights, but I don't think I need a gun. Ivan is in the Epstein files, yeah.
commotion coming from his stock had immediately ceased. Now only able to hear the sound of his breathing, Ivan approached the misty barn until he saw what was causing all the commotion.
Misty Barnes could be my stripper name. Hi, I'm Misty Barnes. Or my phone sex name, maybe? Misty Barnes.
And it caused him to stop dead in his tracks. Perched atop the barn was something otherworldly. A giant black bird resembling a raven, with glowing red eyes staring right at him. Ivan was petrified. He couldn't even raise his gun in defense, for he was all of a sudden overcome by an intense sense of nausea. The gigantic bird looked deep into Ivan's eyes, as if staring into his very soul.
I'm pretty sure that this was Tsunami shapeshifted into her primal form, like when she does her animality. Like, you remember how in Mortal Kombat there was a move that you could do to turn your player into an animal instead of being doing a finishing move? Yeah, this could be Tsunami's. Except for it probably wouldn't have red eyes. Good morning, Nancy dear. It's good to see you, love. Oh, hello, Brian Stevens. Everybody's popping in.
Before spreading its massive wings and flying away. Ivan took a second to gather himself. He figured he was hallucinating and must have come down with some sort of illness from eating breakfast. Maybe the eggs had gone bad, but there's no way to be sure.
Giant birds are often caused by bad eggs. So if you're a bad egg, you might cause someone to see a big giant bird. Try to look and see what kind of birds are in there. The buzzard, which is different than what we call a buzzard. We call a buzzard here in the U.S., at least in the South, they call a turkey vulture a buzzard. But buzzards are pretty big too. Ravens are big. A lot of people don't understand how big ravens are. They think, oh, it's like a little bit bigger than a crow. No, ravens are like eagle-sized freaking crows. Ravens are absolutely massive.
Sure, he stepped into the barn to see some of his goats lying on the ground, lifeless. Whatever the creature was had scared them to death. Still, despite this,
I would say carrion birds, just hypothetically, carrion birds may be attracted to your barn if there's dead livestock laying on the ground. That's pure speculation, but
event, Ivan figured it was all coincidence, and that maybe he just needed some rest to sleep off the illness. However, the raven would not only return once, but twice to the very same spot, with his wife witnessing.
did it say nevermore? Because that seems to be like what a raven should say, in my opinion. The raven doesn't like you. They will teach their young to not like you too. Yeah, they are gossipy bitches. Had a close encounter with a black vulture recently. I got within a few feet of me while I was on a hike. Unfortunately, it was too skittish to get any closer. The ravens are pretty big, especially the linebackers. Is that a football thing? Yeah? I assume that's a football thing. I don't know about the word carrion until recently. Yeah, ravens, corvids, and seabirds, and so a lot of eagles, but vultures and condors are all considered carrion birds because that's what they eat. They only say caw-caw. They don't say nevermore. I want my money back. This is the worst thing that's ever happened in Chernobyl.
Witnessing both events, the horrifying realization that what they were seeing was indeed real. Ivan feared for the worst for what would become of his family and livestock, and yet Ivan could not imagine the horror that would befall the town in the coming weeks.
I hope that Baltimore doesn't have a situation like the Chernobyl situation. That would be terrible.
9-year-old Sasha Ivanov and a few of his classmates were enjoying a nice day at the playground after school in the town of Pripyat. It was a gorgeous day and the kids had no intention of heading home anytime soon, so Sasha suggested they play a big game of hide and seek to start their weekend. The children played a little game to decide who would be it first, and lo and behold, Sasha lost the game and was declared the seeker. Once the role was decided, Sasha's friend—
You suck, Sasha! Ew, down with Sasha! Little punk.
ran off as he counted to 20, and once he was done, he started to thoroughly search the playground, hoping he could easily find someone nearby. But to his surprise, Sasha's friends hid very well, and he figured he'd have to stretch out a bit further than the playground to have a chance of finding anyone. So, not too far from the playground was a clearing to the
They lured Sasha into the
woods, and Sasha felt it was a perfect spot for someone to hide. He giggled as he pranced his way over to the large trees because deep down he knew he was going to find somebody. However, what Sasha would end up finding would put not only him, but the entire town of Pripyat on high alert.
Yes, I remember that photo. The kid with the vulture waiting for him, seen him by. That was pretty rough to watch. I think that the photographer, the guy actually took the picture. I think he eventually ended up committing suicide, and that picture won awards and stuff. But that was a child. Somebody's baby. That baby didn't come into the world wanting to know hunger and stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna go on a tangent.
Sasha searched the clearing. He couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. This had nothing to do with the excitement of the game, for Sasha felt he was in danger all of a sudden. Sasha called out to his friends to come out and that the game was over, but no
Yeah, so tsunami, yeah, exactly.
one responded. Sasha called out once again, insisting that he wasn't joking, and yet no one revealed themselves until the bushes next to Sasha began to shake. Startled, Sasha turned his attention to something emerging from the shrubbery, and what he would see was certainly more frightening than his friends. The towering black bird revealed itself, slowly pacing toward
It doesn't. That looks more like raven size. That's raven size. Got some crazy eyes
the
though.
now frozen Sasha. It was larger than any animal he had ever seen, and its glowing red eyes led him to believe it may have not been an animal at all. Crying out in terror,
Animals can have red eyes. And they'll glow if the light hits them just right.
Sasha turned and ran as fast as he could back to the safety of the playground, where he came across other pedestrians and the rest of his friends coming out from hiding. He tried to explain what he had seen, but none of his friends believed him and thought it was merely a cheap trick to get them all to come out from hiding. Later,
He couldn't find a single person hiding, but he found a monster. So, I mean, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, I don't know how they play in the Ukraine, but I think if you find a monster while you're playing hide and seek, you win automatically.
that evening, Sasha explained what had happened to his parents over dinner, but they too had trouble believing Sasha's incredible story. They asked Sasha to draw what the creature looked like, and to their surprise, the black bird with red eyes matched the same creature Sasha's mother had been seeing in her dreams. And with that, the idea that the black bird could be real began to flourish. By this point, dozens of people had reported seeing the infamous black bird, which led to a neighborhood meeting at the local school to discuss the mysterious sightings. A local bus driver came forward, claiming to have seen the raven, along with one of
Thank you for the rest of the story there, PC. Not PC, Tsumami. No.
the school teachers, among many others. Those who hadn't seen the bird claimed they had haunting dreams about it, believing it to be some sort of omen of things to come. And at the time, citizens of Pripyat had no idea just how
Alright, I think maybe now it's time, a good time as any to pull up Pripyat and look at it, because, yeah, I'm down in Pripyat right now driving around, but check this out. This is Pripyat over here, this segment over here. I imagine this water is probably just cool and refreshing, but Chernobyl, the meltdown was over here. But we're pretty close to it. We're within the area. This is the Pripyat River, actually. And these are like little reservoirs. But surprisingly, you can actually go down into Pripyat and have a look around. And you'll see hikers and stuff out here. But all the buildings look like this. This is what it's like to visit Chernobyl now. All the ruins, modern ruins of the Soviet bloc. Everything's overgrown. Doesn't take long for nature to take things back. I know it's been a long time now, but you can really see the trees coming in the middle of the roads and stuff. It's great that nature's able to recover. Obviously, the idea began to flourish. That was an odd word choice, right? It's almost like they're trying to spin a narrative. And I see PC plug-in my stuff. Yes, you can buy me a coffee. You can buy a T-shirt. Yes, buy a T-shirt from the Cryptic Corner collection. We have Mothman, we have Dogman, we have Jersey Devil, and we have, I think I have somewhere. I thought I did. Oh well, I'm not gonna dig for it right now. I thought I had a video about it, but not my shirts. By the way, if you haven't seen HBO's Chernobyl yet, you must. Okay, yeah. I know that there's like the world's, they say the world's rarest dog breed is here. And I've seen we did a video a while ago, it's been a while, about all the alleged mutants caught in Chernobyl. So yeah. Anyway, back to.
Oh, right, they were. If the blackbird sightings were this prevalent in the nearby town, imagine how frequent they may be for those working at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant.
5 days.
Storm raged on as Dmitry
Oh,
Sokolov.
hold on. Should I read it? And should I say it in the little girl from the Rings voice? 5 days. Click. You gotta click the phone when you hang up because it's old timing. Click. No, not just hanging up with a cell phone.
Clocked in for his overnight shift at the Chernobyl nuclear facility. It was fixing to be a long night for Dmitry, for everyone was on edge with the recent
Fixing.
black.
Did you just say fixin', sir? Are you from the South? I think we found a Southerner. Fixin' to do some stuff. Kyle Hill has a really good series on Chernobyl. I just like looking at Kyle Hill, honestly.
Bird sightings. However, it was very much taboo to talk about it. Those who would even mention the idea of it would be reassigned to inferior positions, or even worse, fired altogether. Still, Dmitry believed the Blackbird ordeal to be total nonsense, and was likely due to mass hysteria around the recent incidents. So, Dmitry changed into his work garments and settled in for a night that would end up changing his life forever. Halfway through his shift around 3 a.m.,
Bro's gonna go and find a big giant black bird. You just wait and see. Rare dog breed, Ukrainian street dingo. Is that what it is?
Dmitry was snuggled away in a dimly lit corridor, working on a crossword puzzle to pass the time when something caught his attention. An ear-piercing scratching sound was coming from a nearby window. It was like nails on a chalkboard for Dmitry, so he got up and walked on over to see if he could stop whatever the cause of it was, assuming it was just a branch brushing up against the window during the storm. The noise grew louder and more irritable as Dmitry...
Here's what it says. The dogs living in Chernobyl's exclusion zone are a unique population descended from pets abandoned after the 1986 disaster. These dogs are considered possibly the world's rarest due to their isolated environment and the ongoing study of their genetic health. While they are not a specific breed, they show genetic differences from other free breeding dogs, potentially due to adaptations to the exclusion zone's environment. So that's what we're looking at.
He approached the window. His plan was simple. Open up the window and break the branch causing the disturbance.
They are sort of, I mean, that is the street dog or pariah dog, sometimes they're called, street dingo. The American dingo is a pariah dog, so you're not wrong by calling them a dingo, Ukrainian street dingo. Because they're just, they're a mix.
But Dmitry's intentions wouldn't go as planned. For when he opened the window, Dmitry was shocked to see the large black bird standing on the roof next to the window. It made a loud
Good morning, Vandalia. Good morning, John Hudson.
screeching noise, causing Dmitry to fall backwards. He scrambled on the ground, petrified as he stood up to run and call for security. When Dmitry led security to the window to investigate, they found that nothing was there, and the screeching had stopped. The officers reprimanded Dmitry for wasting their time, and he was promptly sent home for the rest of the night.
Bro, that's just the worst thing, to discourage people from reporting stuff to security and punishing them for reporting stuff to security is fucking ridiculous. What you're encouraging there is for people not to report stuff, which is great if you're a lazy security officer, but not a great idea if you're wanting to have a secure facility.
Unfortunately for Dmitry, this wouldn't be the end of the Blackbird for him, for he would endure harrowing nightmares daily of the monstrous creature leading up to the fateful incident. Alexei Popov, an established and well-respected
Alexei Popov. You know, these are just made up names, so did he just like come up with like the most Slavic names that you could think of? Yeah, the giant birds will eat all my friends, the arthropods.
Engineer at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant was at his workstation surrounded by multiple monitors when he found something peculiar. On one of his monitors, Alexei could see that one or more of the control rods in the lower part of the reactor wasn't responding correctly. Normally, this could be indicative of an unexpected neutron flux reading coming from the lower.
An unexpected neutron flux reading, is that real? Is that real? Let me see. Let me Google that and see. Unexpected neutron flux in Chernobyl. Several instances of unexpected or unusual neutron fluxes have been reported at Chernobyl, both during the catastrophic accident in 1986 and the years following, most notably in 2021. During the 1986 accident, the RBMK reactor designed at Chernobyl had a dangerously large positive void coefficient. This meant that the water boiled into steam, creating voids, and its effectiveness as a neutron absorber decreased, and the nuclear reaction rate increased, leading to positive feedback loop. So what this guy's reporting here is actually something that led up to and built up to the actual incident that Chernobyl's famous for.
Part of the reactor, which, surprisingly, wasn't that uncommon at the time. So, Alexei took it upon himself to go check.
Neutron Flux is a hell of a band name, though. Is that a band name? Is there already a band with that name? Hell yeah, there is. There's a band called Neutron Flux. They're on SoundCloud.
Check out the bottom of the reactor to see if he could learn anything new. Once down there, Alexei stepped into the lower part by entering through a crawl space. But little did he know that he was inching closer and closer to something otherworldly. Now, in a dark, cramped...
Neutron Flux is the name of the black bird in Entropy Fan. That's the name of the bird. His name is Neutron Flux. I will not hear any more about it. Neutron Flux it is. Hello, Fox. Good day to you, friend.
Crawl space. Alexei turned on his flashlight as he worked his way toward a clearing to a more spacious area, but something felt off. It wasn't just that he was in an uncomfortable closed space, but rather a sense of dread he couldn't quite shake. Still, Alexei pursued onward through darkness and red flashing lights as he arrived at the opening, and once he worked through, he was met with the horror.
What up, Neutron Flux? What are you dropping here? Brian Stevens, NRC government reading. Let's see. What you drop for me? Oh, it's a definition. Okay, yeah. Thank you. It's fun to say.
Terrifying sight of the black bird, almost as if it had been waiting for him. The black bird cawed loudly as it spread its wings, lunging towards him until... Sometime later, Alexei awoke surrounded by his colleagues at the entrance to the crawl space.
And
he urgently warned everyone not to investigate the area.
So you notice the trend with this Chernobyl stuff is everybody's like, you're gonna get in trouble if you report stuff. So that's how accidents happen. What did we learn in 1986?
The Blackbird would likely be down there waiting for them. Alexei's boss demanded he get a grip and stop raving about the Blackbird hysteria. Despite this order, Alexei became enraged and demanded it was time they started to heed the Blackbird's warning, whatever it may be. But, of course, Alexei's boss didn't appreciate this outburst very much and wasted no time relieving Alexei Popov of his duties.
Damn.
Alexei may not have known it at the time, but his boss just accidentally saved his life. For now, at least. Dr. Yuri Kozlov, a traveling scientist for the Soviet Union, had just hailed a cab outside his hotel and was headed towards the Chernobyl nuclear facility. His task was simple: perform various tests to find the reasoning behind the inconsistent data that was coming from the plant. However, to no one's surprise, Dr. Yuri's tests were merely a formality. Regardless of what Yuri would find, he was expected to concur with the lead scientist at the plant, report that nothing was out of the ordinary. Still, Yuri entered the facility expecting to find little to worry about. Only, little did he know how horribly wrong.
So this is the problem with the Soviet system altogether. Like even if they didn't work, they had to be efficient, so they had to say it was working even if something wasn't working right. That's why Lysenkoism, not Lysenkoism, what am I thinking of? The Gur. What was his name? There we go. Yeah, Lysenkoism. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was right. I don't know what I was thinking of. But because it had to be successful and efficient, whatever his experiments were, they had to be successful. So science did not work correctly in the Soviet bloc, right? It just didn't because of the Stalin, exactly, because of Stalinism, because of the authoritarianism. Kind of like how yesterday the Smithsonian, the museum, nationally funded museum, removed all mention of Donald Trump's impeachment from the impeachment display in their museum. So now it just has the 3 other presidents that were impeached, like is it Roosevelt? Not Roosevelt. Clinton. Who else were? Anyway, doesn't matter. Trump had them remove him from that, rewriting history. So like he's never been impeached now, right? We are quickly slipping into something very similar.
Wrong he would be. Dr. Yuri was welcomed by members of the staff before making his way down to the reactor to begin his tests. There were multiple discrepancies that Dr. Yuri wanted to look into, including analyzing the unexpected fluctuations in the reactor's power output, along with measuring the radiation levels coming from the reactor.
Right, that's exactly right. Sounds like a lot like a person who would fire a statistician because he didn't like the end numbers he himself generated. Exactly. Apparently nothing I've had supervised who discourage proper reporting. Very dangerous and negligent in my line of work. None of those supervisors are still around, though. I don't put up with that shit. Yeah, I'd say discouraging negative reporting is... Lysenkoism happened due to a different problem, though. It happened because Stalin, famously not a scientist, was wooed by Lysenko since he wrapped his quackery in the Soviet ethos and mythos. And the experts were ignored since they were subordinate to the political branch, yeah? Science just could not function in that sort of environment.
This sounds like a lot of scientific jargon, but it's important to note leading up to this point, many scientists, including Alexei Popov, were growing concerned about the troubling reactor. Despite this, upper management felt there was nothing to worry about, and urged Yuri to be swift with his tests. So
upper management always knows what's best, don't they? Thank goodness for upper management.
With their day. Now leaving him to his work, management left the scene as Yuri got to work on his analyzation, and it didn't take long for the traveling scientist to find something alarming. Before he even made it to the door of the reactor, Yuri's Geiger counter started to spike, indicating that there were high levels of radiation seeping out of the reactor. But that's not the only thing he found.
And by the way, I was thinking, just to clarify, when my brain sometimes mixes up Lamarckianism and Lysenkoism, and they do congrue with each other a bit in their theories, but that's not what this video is about.
There was a massive buildup of xenon isotopes as well, alluding to an instability in the nuclear chain reaction. This was gravely concerning for
Neutron flux and the xenon isotopes. That's my band. Yep. Neutron flux and the xenon isotopes.
Dr. Yuri, not only because Reactor 4 was starting to show great fluctuations in strain, but also because the neglectful scientists running the facility refused to do anything about it. It was obvious that all these things combined would lead to a tipping point, and that tipping point was dangerously close. Yuri started to feel ill and uncomfortable, and was ready to make his way back to report his findings. But before he could leave, something else caught his attention. In the corner of the corridor he was in, Yuri noticed his Geiger counter ticking off the scale when he passed by. And then, he saw it. Emerging from the shadows was the terrifying black bird, but it looked different than what others had seen.
Yeah, or any kind of authoritarian autocracy. Let's just say no to all authoritarian systems.
It looked more human-like this time. It didn't make any noises or even attempt to move at the frightened Yuri. All it did was lift a hand from underneath one of its large wings.
I had a terrible dream where Trump and I were the only survivors of a plane crash, and he did the "I'm a man, so I'm stronger" thing and elected to fight all the wildlife, and the fucker kept not dying. Oh, I don't think that's how you knew it was a dream.
And pointed it at the scientists. Yuri's counter was screaming at this point, so loud that Yuri couldn't even think. In a panic, Dr. Yuri fled the facility and immediately left Pripyat, a decision that would cost him his life. For what Dr. Yuri didn't know was that the Blackbird was pointing towards the room with management to tell them of what was coming. And yet, Yuri ran for his life, and with that, doomed Chernobyl and the people of Pripyat.
I don't think he could have done anything about it at that point. But there's more to this story. I have for us. Hold on. Let me pull it over. Because there's it gets as the disasters happen, there's more sightings
of a creature seen in Point. Stories tell of a creature seen in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, in the mid-1960s. 7 foot tall, a wingspan of 10 feet,
oh, my sexy ass Mothman,
flying fast at 100 miles an hour. Of course, I am talking about the Mothman, one of the world's most famous urban legends. The story surrounding this mythical entity seems to fall on what you believe the creature's ultimate goals were. According to some, the collapse of the Silver Bridge was foretold by the appearance of the Mothman, and it is either drawn to these disasters for its own pleasure or to warn mankind of the impending danger. This is not the only case.
Yes, I love me some Mothman cake
being attributed to the Mothman. In 1999, reported sightings of the Mothman occurred shortly before the Russian apartment bombings. The same in New York in 2001. And, of course...
Yeah, this is just laying the groundwork for these sightings as omens. And we'll discuss other Mothmen and Birdmen and all sorts of stuff on this channel. So if you're into that, make sure you're subscribed so you get a notification when we go live with this stuff, because we're always cracking this stuff open here in the Hive, aren't we, babe? Come on, support me, chat. Tell them. Thank you for being weirder than even me, Bree. LOL. Yes, I am weird. I am so weird. Like, we had to just scratch the surface. Good morning, Robin.
The one that we're interested in. The sightings in Chernobyl that occurred in the weeks leading up to the April 26th, 1986 disaster at Unit 4. This is the story of the Blackbird of Chernobyl and the real truth behind it.
Okay. Bring it on. I'm ready for it. The real truth.
The story of the Blackbird of Chernobyl reads like a horror movie, with details buried under more details, almost like an onion. So,
Mothmen are like onions. They've got layers.
let's peel back the layers and see what tales lie underneath. Now, the first layer begins with what we can expect from a Mothman sighting. The sightings themselves, and how unusual they are. The most prominent of these stories seems to be that 5 employees of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant encountered the Blackbird of Chernobyl one night, an all-black entity with no head and red eyes on the torso. With these sightings on the
Sounds very different described here than how it's been described in the other story, but go on.
rise, the workers went to their supervisors.
Birds and moths are the same thing, right? They're flying things. Read your Bible. Read your Bible, an infantry fan. Flying things are birds.
Which would have been the likes of Dyatlov, Sitnikov, Lyutov, Rogozhin, and others. Now, this was never taken seriously by any of these men, given all the evidence we have today. However, someone definitely noticed, as these workers...
I like how, when you speak English, that Slavic names sound like you're trying to speak English with a mouthful of noodles. That's what it sounds like. Bats is birds, too. That's right. We are DNA, just passing through to show support. Like button pressed. Hope everyone has a fabulous weekend. Thank you, We Are DNA. Appreciate you. Airplanes are birds. Thank you for, yeah. Helicopters are birds. Particularly, helicopters are whirly birds. Whirly birds.
then claimed that they began receiving phone calls at night, that when they picked up, nobody would be on the other end of. But the nights would not end with these phone calls. In their dreams, the same black-bodied entity and its piercing red eyes would appear endlessly, continuing relentlessly for weeks. And then came the threats. Actual, aggressive phone calls to those who witnessed the entity. KGB officers threatened those individuals who reported
What about the marabou storks? Are they real? They're dinosaurs. They look like dinosaurs. Shoebills look like dinosaurs too. You ever see a shoebill? You listen to the sound they make when they clack their beaks. Shoebills are wild.
sightings, and tensions grew. And then came April 26, 1986. Firefighters and other first responders have been deployed to the site, battling the blaze from the ground and the roof. And what did they see? The Blackbird, flying through the smoke in the night sky, before...
So now it's flying around outside. It was inside the reactor earlier in the video we watched.
Or disappearing into the black. Sightings continued after the explosion too. Claims have been made that the Blackbird entity returned even after the explosion, to chase helicopters that were flying sorties over Chernobyl. If the bird was a forewarning of disaster, then it would likely be a connection to the tragic helicopter crash of October 1986.
Yeah, it's blamed for the helicopter crash too.
And, as a final twist in this tale, the people who claim to have seen this entity have all since died, due to unknown causes, be it radiation or something else.
Unknown causes. They were in Chernobyl. I mean, what more evidence do you need there, pal?
Summarize here with a bit from the man who brought this legend to prominence again. Following the success of the HBO miniseries, Robert Maxwell, an Australian archaeologist who visited the Chernobyl exclusion zone in 2010 and 2012, gave his opinions on the legend. Now, it's become one of those fables that's difficult to track because it relies on...
Yeah, here's the helicopter crash. Hold on. Let me bring this over real quick so you guys can see it. So this is the crash they're talking about. Look for the black bird. Where is it? Hit the cable. Down they go. Gravity. Because of gravity. I didn't see any black bird, but I did see a helicopter crash. Oh, we were done with you. There we go.
People who died due to radioactive contamination. The blackbird has also become one of those fairly safe legends where, if you try to look for proof, it might not be available because the workers are dead, or maybe the sightings were never officially recorded.
Or the Soviets hid it because they didn't want us to know about their blackbird experiments. Where they were making communist super soldiers with black wings, flying soldiers. You better watch out.
People trying to check the veracity of these claims, of course, you've got to take them on face value because there's not a lot of history or archaeology to go on. But the stories persist, even to this day. Now for this part of the video, the debunking. I, of course, would first like to thank Darman Richer, author of the book Chernobyl, A Stalker's Guide.
Oh, are you leaving, John Hudson? Well, thank you so much for stopping by. For your inconvenience.
And the owner of the Ex-Utopia website. Without his research, I would not have a 100% definitive debunk, only 99%. But seriously, thank you for sharing your expertise here. Let's get over the biggest hurdle first. No one living who witnessed these events ever claimed to have seen it, and those who died but publicly gave their stories have not mentioned this story either. In fact, in many years of researching this topic, I've never found a historical reference to the blackbird of Chernobyl. And now, to fully debunk this story, we would need to find its genesis. And, as it happens, Darman Richer has found it. The movie The Mothman Prophecies actually makes the claim that Mothman is a rough translation of the Ukrainian term for an entity seen 100 times in Chernobyl before the accident. And the events seen in this film and the legend match up well. Dreams haunted by the appearance of the Mothman.
I don't know why Mothman can't come to my dreams. Are my dreams just not good enough for you, Mothman? There could be a disaster here. Hey, I'm going out to the West Coast here in a couple months, out to California. They have earthquakes there. Maybe Mothman can give me a little bit of a warning about an earthquake? Why couldn't Mothman give me some warning about the big dust storm that we had here? That would have been nice. Or the floods that we had just a couple weeks ago. Damn it, Mothman. Do your job.
Cold phone calls, ignored warnings. The Mothman Prophecies makes the claim it is based on true events, But how much of it is true? Well, as a matter of fact, we can ask the man who did the research behind this movie, Loren Coleman. In an article he wrote for the 25th anniversary of the Chernobyl disaster, Coleman wrote the following. The movie also tries to link Chernobyl's nuclear meltdown with precursor sightings of the Mothman. Not true. There were no sightings. It was all made up for the movie. The Galveston hurricane claim is also fake, according to Coleman. So that's about it. The rumor was born here.
I mean, oh well, if Warren Coleman says it, I mean, he's a cryptozoologist. I'm not. He's actually one of the better ones, though, all things considered, when it comes to ranking cryptozoologists. Warren Coleman's probably one of the better ones, towards the top of the list, actually. I'm the best, just to be clear. I am the best cryptozoologist because I am scientifically minded and skeptical of any paranormal claims. I'm not skeptical of undiscovered animals existing. But you make a paranormal claim, you better be prepared to back it up. A lot of cryptozoologists just run with that. Good morning, Jester.
The first reference I have found of the Blackbird of Chernobyl is 2002, from a Russian source that also speaks about the 1999 Russian apartment bombings and the same year that the Mothman Prophecies was released. As a break, my opinion on the Mothman here is generally regarded by most scientists who believe the events in West Virginia happened. A sandhill crane or other large bird, which had become lost during migration and likely ended up taking shelter. It could have even accidentally rolled.
I actually think that the Mothman was an owl. I'm actually fairly confident that the Mothman was an owl. I don't believe the sandhill crane theory. Everything about its behaviors and characteristics to me screams owl. You are the only cryptozoologist that I know of, Bree. Yeah, what if Ted Cruz is Mothman's son and he's ashamed? No, because isn't Ted Cruz the Zodiac Killer's son? I thought that's how maybe his mother was the Zodiac Killer, though. That there's no reason to say that the Zodiac Killer was not a woman who was in cahoots with Mothman.
Munition powder still left in the plant, hence the black appearance. Much in the same way UK wildlife hospitals have received believed to be exotic birds that have wound up in towns, only to be seagulls that fell into containers with curry sauce, that dyed their feathers. This has
Curry-covered seagulls are a new species.
Happened twice, by the way. The reason I raise this is that it is very easy to want a fantasy explanation for these occurrences, like the collapse of a bridge, a natural disaster, or, in our historical case, the explosion at a nuclear power plant. We want these stories to have some larger-than-life explanation. We all want life to be bigger than it is.
There is a larger-than-life explanation for the meltdown of Chernobyl, which we did get to explore, even though we explored it around the framework of the Black Bird. That reporting bad news was frowned upon by your superiors, so you were expected to keep a lid on things if things weren't going right. Which, when you're dealing with a nuclear reactor, probably not a bad idea, or probably not a good idea.
8 billion people reside on this planet, and we may never know if there is meaning of life, or what it is if there is one. And so we fill in the blanks in the world with larger-than-life stories and events, making a bridge collapse into a story involving a giant monster bird, or Chernobyl into a story of peer-pressured workers.
Is the
people running from bouncing
the volume out of balance?
Is what makes life interesting in the mundanity of everything else. It's the same reason we all tell fictional stories. Chernobyl is a highly complex subject, with thousands of stories but represents a small part of a collective history of nuclear power. I hope you all continue to enjoy my content as I keep making it.
All right. So, that was the Blackbird of Chernobyl. And we are looking at the part of the world where that happened at. So, you see this is Ukraine, right? And it's right near the border of Belarus, right? You can actually drop down into here too. You can't get super close. Yeah, I think that last video, I just had the volume turned way down on it. But I can't hear how loud I am compared to that. And if I don't, and since I have that pulled up, I can't see this thing spiking. So I apologize for the audio being all over the place. It'll be a hell of a time adjusting that in post-production too. It's always a pain in the butt. Let's see. So, ooh, that's a memorial. Gamma travel. Looks Eastern Orthodox. Oh, this is Gamma Travel too. Gamma Travel's the company that does the Google Earth, I guess, for Chernobyl. I think it's probably about as close as we're going to get to the actual meltdown site, though. I don't think we can get any closer than this. Maybe we can. Seems like this place actually is pretty popping for a abandoned Fallout zone. Lots of people walking around. What's that all about? What about the elephant foot? Yeah. We covered that a bit in our previous Chernobyl video. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah. Creatures of Chernobyl. There's a video called Creatures of Chernobyl that I did. Oh, I didn't want to do that. And I am going to drop it right here. We covered more Chernobyl stuff. I would totally go to Chernobyl, though. I would love to explore. Gamma Travels is probably a company that does guided tours. Yeah. So you all can send me on a Gamma Travel tour to Chernobyl, and I will definitely take lots of pictures. I'll go up and lick the elephant foot if you take me out, if you find me out there. I talk about the elephant foot in that video right there too. So keep that in mind. But yeah, this has been a fun one. A little bit expected for it to turn out to be some fake lore. It's par for course in this part of mythos building. They wanted to make the Mothman sound more profound, so they raked in other disasters and said, "Oh yeah, Mothman appeared here too. 9/11, Chernobyl, Fukushima, every bridge collapse that's ever happened." I would also love to go to Chernobyl, says Kip Davis. I'll go with you. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, but what do you all think? Was the Blackbird of Chernobyl fake lore? Was it a sighting of a raven? Was it a just normal wildlife sighting? You let me know in the comments down below, and please remember to be kind Take care, and we'll see you next time. All right, live from the Hive crowd. Thank you so much for sticking with me. We are going to be moving into our Week in Weird momentarily with our Hollywood clones. I am going to take a brief intermission while I get something to drink because my coffee is about finished and go to the bathroom. So I will see you back here in just a couple minutes and we will talk about some Hollywood clones.
Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koala, koala, koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koala, koala, koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koala, koala.
Yeah, poor little thing was kicked out of the tree. You can come to our tree. Yeah, come to our tree. Poor little thing. There's plenty of trees. Come on. You're a meanie.
Hello, hello, my beauties and bees, and welcome to our Week in Weird, where we explore the weirdness of the world and conspiracies about it that people actually believe. This week, we are, by popular demand, covering the prevalence of Hollywood clones. Do you not know what Hollywood clones are? Well, let's find out. Let's explore. Okay, so. The channel I've chosen to break open this is the Curious Deep Dives, theories, conspiracy theories, debunking things of that nature. Okay, so what we'll be looking at here is their celebrity clones video. Are celebrities being cloned? Unveiling Hollywood's hidden secret. Let's do it.
Have you ever noticed how some celebrities seem to undergo dramatic transformations overnight? As you scroll through social media or flip through magazines, you can't help but wonder. You might attribute it to diets, workouts, or cosmetic procedures, but what if there's more to it? What if some of these changes are so astonishing that they make you question whether it's still the same person you once knew? It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but consider this. Cloning isn't just science fiction anymore. It's a real, although controversial,
The AI voice, so you know it's super serious
scientific practice. Take
and very scientific.
Simon Cowell, for example, the music and TV industry mogul. His recent changes have left many baffled. Or Jamie Foxx, the multi-talented actor and musician who's recently raised eyebrows with his transformations. Then there's Britney Spears, a pop
I love
icon
you, Britney.
Who's undergone a metamorphosis.
Leave Britney alone for real. Don't make me be angry.
That's as shocking as it is captivating. And let's not forget Kanye West and his partner, who've both witnessed their share of changes. These are celebrities who've experienced
Kanye slipped off or fell off or, something.
such drastic, rapid changes that it's hard to believe they're the same people we once knew. Now, let's explore these intriguing cases.
Celebrities are rich and they get work done.
And unravel the mysteries behind these remarkable transformations. Is it merely the pressure of fame to maintain a youthful appearance? Or is there something more enigmatic at play? Join me on this fascinating journey to find out. In the world of celebrity, the line between fact and fiction often blurs, and the concept of clone theory adds an extra layer of intrigue.
It's not a theory. I mean, it could be a hypothesis. You can call it your clone hypothesis. Are you interested in calling it that instead of clone theory?
But what exactly is this theory? In simple terms, it suggests that some celebrities may have undergone such drastic transformations that they might have been replaced by clones. Let that sink in for a moment. Now, this isn't something you'd find in a...
Why would the clone look different, though? Because a clone should look like you. It shouldn't look like not you. So if it looks like not you, it's probably not a clone. You could say it's a doppelganger.
Science fiction novel. Cloning is a real scientific practice, although a controversial one. And the idea of cloning celebrities, well, it's not entirely far-fetched when you consider the stakes involved. Imagine the
Ooh, no one even told me there was going to be stakes. Yum.
power and influence that comes with fame. The ability to replicate a beloved figure, that would be an invaluable asset in a world driven by celebrity worship. Now let's explore some historical examples and urban legends that have fueled this captivating theory. From tales of Hollywood's hidden laboratories to strange resemblances, the world of celebrity clones is a curious
I like how it shows a picture of a person and then just shows a picture of them older as like, this isn't how humans work.
one. We'll delve into the evidence and stories that make this theory so intriguing. But before we dive deep, I have a simple request. If you're as captivated by this topic as I am, please consider subscribing. This journey is just beginning.
You should subscribe to the Hive. That's what you should subscribe to. True story.
And I'll be unveiling more mysterious theories and discussions that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Simon Cowell, a name synonymous with talent shows and the man we've all come to recognize. But if you take a closer look, you might notice that something about Simon seems different. In the early 2000s, Simon Cowell was a staple on our screens, known for his...
Maybe a staple on your screens. I wasn't really into America's Got Talent or anything. The main thing I remember Simon Cowell from is that he was like on the thing at the end of Shrek. Which isn't even really him. I mean, it's his voice, but it's not like him. That's the main thing.
Signature scowl, brutally honest critiques, and those high-waisted trousers. Yet, as the years have passed, his appearance has undergone a remarkable transformation. His once familiar features appear to have changed. His cheeks are fuller, his eyes brighter, his skin smoother. Some may attribute this to the skilled hands of a plastic surgeon.
Yeah, that's the answer. You figured it out. You rooted out the culprit. Very good. His cheeks fuller, his eyes brighter, and his skin smoother. Yeah, getting work done. And I'm not throwing any shade. I want work done. I don't want my. I'm just afraid that they'll make me look like that old if I get work done. I've seen so many people with like, yikes.
But what if there's more to this story? What if Simon Cowell, the man we thought we knew, has been replaced? Yes, I said it. Replaced. The person we now see on our screens might not be the same Simon Cowell we remember. Now, before you dismiss this as pure speculation, let's consider the evidence. The sudden, dramatic change in his appearance, the shift in mannerisms, and the newfound zest for life. I know it sounds outlandish, but it's the mysteries and questions that drive our curiosity. Could it be possible that Simon Cowell is no longer the man we once knew? What if the...
Or, I mean, he's an older version of the me and you once knew, I guess. That'd probably be a better way to describe him. An aged version.
Person on our screens today is a clone, a doppelganger sent to take his place. The evidence is certainly intriguing. It's a wild theory, but it's the intriguing mysteries like this that keep us questioning and exploring. I'm not here to state that Simon Cowell has unquestionably been replaced by a clone. I'm here to explore the compelling evidence and let you decide. Now, let's move from one music mogul to another and delve into the enigma that is Kanye West.
The enigma that is Kanye West. Yeah, this is just going to be ableist shit about like, oh, he got crazy after going off his meds. Exactly.
Kanye West, a name synonymous with artistic brilliance and controversy. We've known him for his daring fashion choices and groundbreaking music. Kanye, a true trendsetter, has never shied away from pushing boundaries. But lately, something seems different. He's taken a new direction, one that has left many of us scratching our heads. What's particularly intriguing is that since his mysterious...
Yeah, the way that AI speaks is kind of bloviates.
2-month disappearance, he hasn't been as vocal or present in podcasts and streams like he used to be. Now, change is a part of life. We all evolve. However, the extent and nature of Kanye's changes have sparked rumors and speculations. Is this just personal growth, or could it be something more intriguing? Could it be that Kanye West, the man we've known and loved, has been replaced by a...
The man we've known and loved? I never liked Kanye West. Like, I remember when he was on that episode of South Park a long, long time ago. And I'm like, this guy is kind of self-centered. Yeah, padding the runtime,
Clone.
Exactly. I might
The
speed it
idea
up a
might
little
seem
bit,
far-fetched at first, given Kanye's reputation for unpredictability. But when you compare his past self to his present persona...
Remember when he showed up on Alex Jones all masked up and had a pool net that he called Netanyahu?
The differences are striking. His mannerisms, style, and even his voice have undergone a significant shift. His girlfriend, too, seems to have experienced a transformation. Overnight, both exhibit...
Is he wearing, like, football pads there? Or is his shirt just... Because that's like, I don't know, it doesn't look natural.
Changes that are too dramatic to be attributed solely to personal growth. Could it be that they've fallen victim to a grand conspiracy, replaced by almost identical clones with subtle differences? Why?
Well, yeah, making jokes about Kanye West. Get Billy Carson later, fine.
While alternative explanations exist, such as natural evolution or elaborate publicity stunts, for devoted fans, it's challenging to dismiss the notion that the Kanye we once knew has vanished, replaced by someone or something else.
He's the same guy. He's just kind of a little bit off now because he Sounds like he rejected his doctor's recommendations and stuff like that, and he's kind of uh, living in his own version of the world. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's sad to see someone spiral like that in public. He's kind of disappeared from the public eye, though. So, who's next?
Now, as we delve deeper into this mystery, stay tuned for our next enigmatic figure, the beloved pop princess, Britney Spears.
She just aged. She aged
too?
freaking fantastically too. Look at that woman's face. God damn! If I could look half as young as you, girl, and she's a little bit older than me. I think she's like 2 or 3 years older than me. No, Brittany, you are beautiful. Don't let people shame you, but yeah, it's crazy that you can't have a mental health crisis in your life without someone deciding that there's some sort of external supernatural force or something along those lines, some unnatural cause, instead of it just being like, we need to take care of our health.
A victim of this alleged cloning conspiracy? The iconic American sweetheart. But does she remain?
Yeah, that's true, Sumami. I mean, he's always been kind of a narcissist. That's what I said about when I didn't like him when I saw him on Family Guy, because I like never listened to his music or anything really, but his character was so narcissistic and self-aggrandizing. I didn't really know about Kanye until he did that thing to Taylor Swift, and I was like immediately, yuck. Yes, oh my gosh, that was so rude. I'm gonna let you finish, but that one. I don't dismiss it as speculation. I dismiss it as pure BS. Yes, my unfinished journey.
The same girl we all fell in love with? From the bubble.
I did love Britney, so you're right there, okay? She's part of the reason I do blonde.
Dumb pop princess of the late 90s to the controversial figurehead of a legal battle that shook the entertainment industry, Britney's transformation has been nothing short of dramatic. Let's take a trip down memory lane.
It's fucking called aging. It's aging. Kanye was wildly popular in the black community before his mother died. Then he started doing things that caught the attention of people who don't appreciate fine art, and it stopped making it.
Britney, a young girl from Louisiana, burst onto the pop scene with a unique blend of innocent charm and undeniable talent. She was the girl next door with a voice that could bring down the house. Fast forward to today, and we see a woman who has weathered the storm of fame, fortune, and controversy. But is it the same Britney? Many have noted the dramatic changes in her appearance over the years.
Like what?
While some of it can be attributed to the natural aging process, the shifts appear more...
The aging process and Hollywood beauty stuff, like fillers and facelifts and things like that. We all age, though. It's inevitable.
Profound, almost as if we're looking at a different individual altogether. What if the Britney we see today isn't Britney at all, but a clone? It's a wild idea, but ponder this. In an industry...
That is my Britney. This is the Britney I've always had since the first time I saw her. Oops, I did it again. Yeah. Man, this is Britney. She doesn't even look that different, like, because rich people don't age as bad as the rest of us do because they live a pampered life. But she looks good. You are not. Yeah, Ember. Ember's doing the Benjamin Button in the other direction.
Industry where image reigns supreme, Wouldn't it make sense to preserve the pristine image of a star at their peak?
Did they think she was going to look like a teenager forever? That's like the people who are mad about seeing Pam Anderson without makeup. She's not even like, she doesn't even look different than she looked back then. She's just appearing in public without makeup now, and people are flipping out. She's, she's old. She's got to be in her 60s, right? She's older, yeah. But anyway, but she's just appearing in public without makeup now. People are like, oh, look how ugly she is or whatever. You can find videos of her within the last 2 or 3 years with her makeup on. She still looks like Pam Anderson, slightly older, just like Brittany here. But when she does her makeup, she still looks like Pam Anderson, right? And she's had work done, but I guess she's in the new Naked Gun movies.
The theory of Brittany being replaced by a clone might be a stretch, but it's a fascinating concept to ponder, especially when we consider the lengths the entertainment industry goes to maintain its illusion of perfection. With the captivating enigma of Britney Spears explored, let's shift our focus to yet another multi-talented personality.
So, yeah, why is that peaking so high now? I don't know what's going on. I'm going to fire my microphone. You're fired. We'll replace you with something different. Yeah, I look back at how young she was in the Oops, I Did It Again video, and I'm like, that is a goddamn child these grown men are salivating over. She even looks like a child. Okay, I was a child too, though. I mean, when did that come out? I was like 13 or something like that, 13 or 14 years old. But I really wanted to to be Britney down inside, but I couldn't tell anybody that. She was 17.
The one and only Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx, a true Renaissance man. But has he transformed into a different person before our eyes? This is the question that has piqued the curiosity of many. Known for his razor-sharp comedic wit, an Oscar-winning actor, and a musical virtuoso with a voice that can move mountains, Jamie Foxx is an icon of versatile talent.
You don't have to explain to us who Jamie Foxx is. We know, we already know. That's why we're here.
However, it's not his artistry that has been under scrutiny lately, but his appearance. A simple glance at pictures of Jamie from just a few years ago compared to recent images reveals striking differences. His facial features have taken on a sharper definition, his skin appears smoother, and the light in his eyes seems to hold a new kind of spark. The question arises.
That does not mean that he's somebody else. Like, oh, your complexion looks great now. You look healthy. You look happy. Why is that like, oh, you must be somebody else? Yeah, guys, if I ever look happy, just be sure I'm somebody else, because depression kicks my ass every day. And I'm aging too. Look at those forehead wrinkles I got going on. Got some Britney wrinkles. Britney wrinkles under my eyes too. I'm aging. Oh no. Yeah, Jamie Foxx is a good-looking man. Like, yeah, and like he's aging very gracefully. I'll just say that he gets better looking the older he gets. In my humble opinion, it's what I like. Right, that's the thing about cloning too. Cloning, when you clone, you start as children. You're not just making like a full-size adult copy, right? It'd make more sense if they said they were replaced by like body doubles or something, but like clones you have to raise from a baby. You don't make an adult clone.
What's behind this transformation? Some suggest it's the result of the natural aging process combined with the relentless pressures of the Hollywood image standard. But here's where it gets interesting. There's a theory that proposes the Jamie Foxx we know today has been replaced by a clone. It's a theory that's been circulating for a while, with proponents pointing that the Jamie Foxx we see today is not the original, but a doppelganger designed to continue his legacy. What's particularly intriguing is that during his recent 2-month disappearance, yes, it's always 2 months, isn't it? His family...
Yes, it's always 2 months, isn't it? Is it? Like for Brittany, it was she had multiple time long lengths of time out of the spotlight. Yeah, I don't see much difference. He still looks like Jamie Foxx.
remained in silence. It's strange that only an anonymous source was able to say he was recovering well from this.
When I see Jamie Foxx, I mostly think of Motherfucker Jones from Bad Boss. Is it Bad Bosses? I can't remember the name of the movie, but yeah, his character in that's hilarious.
Unknown medical emergency. Could this mysterious episode be linked to his transformation? The truth, as they say, is stranger than fiction. But then...
What transformation? He doesn't look like he did in 2009? Is that the argument we're making, that he's aged and maybe got some work done?
There's the question of why Jamie Foxx would need a clone in the first place. Is it to keep up with the demanding schedules of Hollywood? Or is there a more sinister reason lurking in the shadows? Could it be a means of silencing those who are making too much noise in Hollywood?
Terrible Bosses, that's the name of the movie. Yeah, so maybe Brittany just budded like a coral. Maybe she was dancing one day and just and then there was two Britneys. Jamie Foxx could have done that too.
Connection between the mysterious transformation and other enigmatic occurrences in the entertainment industry? As we've seen, the world of celebrity transformations is a fascinating one. Whether these changes are due to personal reasons or something more mysterious, the truth remains elusive. In this journey through the world of celebrity...
It's so weird that this channel claimed to be debunking things. That didn't debunk anything. It just made the claim, doubled down on the claim. Now I got a few more people I found on this Revelation Room channel that they make the same type of claim about, and we're gonna watch that. So the first couple are the same people. We got Kanye West and Britney. But we're gonna pick up right here at Avril Lavigne.
So your name is Avril Lavigne. Yeah.
One of the most celebrity clone theories suggests that Avril Lavigne died in the early 2000s and was replaced by a lookalike named Melissa Vandella. Fans point to her physical appearance.
So that's not really a clone, though. That's like oh my goodness. That would be like a body double or whatever, right? Like what they say, like James Woods is replaced Joe Biden, even though James Woods was like a huge MAGA guy and would not have supported Biden's positions. But whatever.
Including missing moles as proof of the switch. She was this huge pop star, but she couldn't handle being famous. So the record label decided to remove Avril and replace her with this new...
And yeah, I love her makeup style too. I love the smoky eye that she does underneath. I try to do that sometimes. I didn't do that today, but I do try to do that sometimes because I think it's cute. She definitely died in a skateboarding accident. Wait, what? So the clone is helping them keep with their schedule? Do they have footage? This was that movie with Michael Keaton where he gets cloned a whole bunch. And like one of the clones is like really masked, and one of the clones is really femme, and then one of the clones is like really juvenile. He has like 3 of them. Is it is it duplicity? I can't remember, but yeah. So you have like a bunch of versions of you to do all your different configure all your different tasks.
New girl, Melissa, in 2005. But if we lean into the theory, people point out that there are lyrics in some of her songs, like Slip Away, Zrenia references to leaving, Fans go down this rabbit hole, believing she's singing.
Well, she went from being like bubblegum, punky skater girl to being like a serious artist in the vein of like Alanis Morissette or Celine Dion, when she grew up. So she did evolve as a artist. That tends to happen.
About being replaced.
And God, she's gorgeous. She's still gorgeous. Avril Lavigne is.
And that clues are hidden in the lyrics and music. Over the years, her voice has also changed, along with her appearance. These differences have only fueled the theory that the real Avril may have disappeared.
Oh, here we go. Of course, Eminem. Please don't play too much of the song, though, because I don't want to get struck. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Celine can actually sing. Avril Lavigne can actually sing. If you don't think so, you need to listen to some of what's the Head Above Water. Hold on. Yeah, Head Above. Listen to anything off the Head Above Water 2019 album. She can actually sing. She can sing like really good. And like Celine Dion can actually sing too. And Alanis Morissette can sing. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, throwing shade at like people with folk singing voices. Okay. Marshall was open about the army of clones, though. He featured them. Yeah, Marshall has all his clones.
Eminem, one of the most iconic names in hip-hop, rose to fame in the late 90s and early 2000s with 3 legendary albums. The Slim Shady LP, the Marshall Mathers LP, Zrynia The Eminem Show. These albums are often regarded as some of the greatest in hip-hop history, with raw lyrics, dark humor, and a style only...
You notice that I compared her to other Canadian artists was my goal, Sumami. Not necessarily their vocal stylings, but like Canadian artists that tour like the higher end venues across Canada instead of doing world tours like with the stadium rock venues and stuff. But yeah, listen to that new that's not new, 2019. That's not new. I don't know if she's come out with anything since then, but
Eminem could deliver. But according to some fans, the Eminem we see today might not be him. The real Eminem died in 2006 and was replaced by a clone. They claim this new Eminem lacks the same raw energy or lyrical genius.
He just got older, and in this one he's wearing makeup. His face is covered in makeup. In this one he is wearing no makeup, but you see natural blemishes and lines. I look like that without makeup too. We all do.
Instead, he's a carefully controlled version of Slim Shady.
Makeup there too. When you see someone on camera like this, like on a professional studio camera, they're probably wearing makeup. And then when you see them on the streets, they're going to have blemishes on their faces, and yeah.
Could it be true? But that's not all. Eminem himself has hinted at this theory in his lyrics. In his 2009 song Not Afraid, Eminem raps about facing demons and mentions a rebirth of sorts, with fans interpreting these lyrics as cryptic admissions that he was replaced.
We gotta get a politician in here too, of course. Why not?
Cloning is unethical unless power demands it. Vladimir Putin, the name instantly brings to mind one of the world's most powerful and controversial leaders. But what if the Vladimir Putin we see on TV today isn't the real Putin at all? Putin has been in power for over 20 years, and throughout that time,
he's aged. Imagine how much that ages you, trying to hold an iron fist on the largest spanning modern empire. That's gotta be aging. It's gotta be stressful. Hello, Wraith636. Thank you for joining us. We are looking at celebrity clones right now.
he has been at the center of countless conspiracy theories. One of the most persistent theories is that Putin uses body doubles or even clones to stand in for him at events. The reason? The real Putin might be in hiding, or worse. So why do people believe this? The most common evidence fans of this theory point to is the supposed physical differences in Putin's appearance over the years. Supporters claim his facial structure has changed.
He's older. Yeah, I have a freaking, yeah, look at that. I got this that comes in now too when I stand like this. See, if I stand straight back, it comes in like this. It happens when you get older and the elasticity of the skin on your neck is not as good as it used to be. I used to have a little chicken there. I get like smooth as can be. Now it does this when I stand straight. Just part of the aging process. I could get it like tucked back. I could get work done to get it removed, but it's just part of how the body ages, where you lose elasticity at.
With differences in his nose, jawline, and even his ears, which they say are hard to explain with aging alone. However,
Yeah, he's probably gotten surgeries and stuff, I'm sure.
some believe a powerful Mason society could be hiding advanced tech, using it to clone or find the most identical doppelgangers of key leaders and hide.
Is there a body double of Putin that visits Ukraine? See, they'll say a body double, and they'll show something like this, where this is clearly just someone cosplaying as her, not a body double.
High-profile stars. Could Putin be one of them? Could the real versions of these celebrities be hiding in plain
That's
sight,
the movie.
replaced by doubles
Yeah, Michael
of fame
Keaton.
and power?
Right there. That's the movie I was talking about. That's where the people people get this idea that if you make a clone, that that it's gonna be like an adult, like made like this. It's gonna be like just like you split in two. It's got all your memories, all your experiences, but it's gonna be another adult version of you, not a new human that needs to be raised with all new experiences and stuff. Yeah, which is how cloning would really work.
The safety of loved ones. If you're into conspiracy theories about world politics, check out our latest video. Could US president candidates also be reptiloids? The lizard people theory. Link in the description. Subscribe and ring the bell so you're first to uncover the next big secret with us. Trust me, you won't want to miss it.
Yeah, body doubles are not clones, though. That's an important distinction because there's nothing fantastical about finding someone who kind of looks like you to go through some motions, like rushing to their limo or whatever to distract people while you move out a different door to distract the press or something like that. Oh, it's over. Oh, dang. That was over quick. I thought we have more. I might be able to find some more. Hold on. I just don't want to retread the same people over and over again. I do like the song Celebrity Skin. Make me over, and all I wanna be. A walking study in demonology. See, because there was a whole bunch of videos about it, so we're not going to have any shortage of content on it. There's a full movie about it here. Not Kanye. Who else is covered in this one?
Kevin Hart, star of the new film Central Intelligence.
We'll see them one moment and they looking normal, the next moment they looking totally different.
Kevin Hart?
Need I say more? Do I need to say any more?
Alright, we're going to see what you have to say.
Kevin Hart, star of the new film Central Intelligence, joining us now. How do you do it? I look on Twitter, there you are. Facebook, there you are. Television, there you are. How do you do it?
I have a clone.
Man, I'm talking about is you a clone now, huh? Cause that's what I heard. That's what I heard. Hey, huh? Let me pitch you and see you for real, cuz. Say you a...
He's a comedian. Kevin Hart's a comedian telling a joke, right?
Clone.
It's crazy. Marshall Mathers. Some of you may know him as Eminem, but he's going to join the Saturday night crew with our music intro starting next Saturday night. But folks, I want to take you to the world premiere of one of his new videos called Berserk. Take a listen.
He's just fucking, he's probably lit there, but I don't think he can even hear what the guy's saying. I think he's listening to something on his headphones and doesn't even realize that they're on camera there. That's what it looks like to me.
Need I say more? Do I need to say any more? Time and time again when it comes to these celebrities, we'll see them one moment and they looking normal, the next moment they looking totally different. Then we got these dumb bots in the comments talking about some conspiracy theories. This ain't no damn conspiracy. This is real life. And the sad part about it, they'll put this shit right in y'all face. And you bot motherfuckers will still find a way to be in denial. But I want y'all to pay attention to
What is this showing? What does this have to do with him being a clone? Right? He's being weird, but he doesn't seem to realize he's on camera, and he seems to be listening to whatever's coming through those headphones and not what the guy next to him is saying.
this next clip.
I'm here to tell you about my brand new movie, Gemini Man. Let me tell you, this joint is crazy. It's like me versus... Whoa, wait, don't give away too much, man. Yeah, okay, I can say clone, I want to say clone. All right, so there's like a clone...
This was literally for the movie where it was about clones, y'all. It's not... Will Smith doesn't literally have a clone.
In the movie that's trying to, like, kill me. You got to check it out. Yo, man, tell them when it comes out. It comes out on October 11th. Gemini Man is hot. I want y'all to check it out.
Now, I know a lot of y'all boys gonna overlook it and say he just promoted his movie, but it's deeper than that. This is called predictive programming. They have to put it in y'all face. It's up to y'all to be able to read between the lines to know what's really going on.
They are preparing you. They're preparing you for a world of clones. It's priming your brain to accept our new clone overlords, where like you don't get to escape anymore. When you don't get to die and go rest, they're gonna clone you and put you right back to work in the factories, building their war machines. Don't you know?
Going on. But here's some more clips of celebrities openly admitting they have clones.
This is major news that I'm giving you. All right. I'm the first person to ever use it. I'm cloned.
Okay, all right, I appreciate
That's why I'm able to do all that I do.
All right.
Because I now have a clone.
Bro, they're just messing with you. They're comedians and entertainers. Kevin Hart's using the clone as a stand-in for saying, "Hey, I'm freaking busy as hell. I'm running all the time. I don't know how I do it." So.
And that clone does all of my music, and then I, have another clone for acting. I'm not going to tell you if it's me or not, or what the name is.
They're making music right now, right?
Yeah, they're in the studio right now.
As you can see.
Of course they are, yes. In the studio right now, making music while she's doing the interview.
Some of these celebrities be having clones because they can't be everywhere at once. But for other reasons, it's more sinister, like control or power. Now, I know y'all seen the movie They Cloned Tyrone. That wasn't just a movie. A lot of times they put the truth in movies or
I've not seen the movie They Cloned Tyrone.
TV shows, and everybody want to just brush it off. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it in the comments down below. But that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. If y'all want more content like this, please hit that like and subscribe button, and we out. Go.
If I ever went anywhere, we...
All right, so yeah, celebrity clones was we did this channel
Enrico-
Curious Deep Dive with the AI voice, and then we did this one with Avril Lavigne, which is more of a like. This just was the most recent video that they put out. Looks like mostly like celebrity stuff. They didn't really doing too much.
In the awe-inspiring...
Not yet. We're gonna get to the man-eating leopard in just a second. Okay, but we need to get through this first. Okay, so celebrity clones. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Are these clones? Am I cloned? Am I a celebrity clone of who would I be a celebrity clone of? I could be a celebrity clone, right? Um, what about you? Are you a clone? Could you be a clone and not know it? Remember when we all found out we were Cabbage Patch babies that were grown in Cabbage Patches, and it was really profound and opened our eyes to the possibilities that we are not even fully human anymore because we're Cabbage Patches? Well, maybe the Cabbage Patch technology is related to the celebrity clones, right? That's what's been going through my head as I watch this. I'm like, wait a minute, remember in the Tartaria video, they talked about being able to grow people from Cabbage Patches? What if that's how we're getting all these celebrities? Yeah. What if we're all clones and don't know it, right? No, it was a movie that came out in 2023. It hit the pseudoscience community hard. I didn't cover it because, of course, I didn't. Well, if you want to cover it, you definitely cover it. And there's lots of celebrity clones to go around. And if we run out, we can always just clone more. It'll be easy. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. Clones age at the normal rate. It would be X years younger than the original period. No, they cloned full-size adult versions with all your memories is the game. That's the story. That's the story they're running with. All right, thank you so much for sticking with me as we muddled through another week in weird. Appreciate you, and please remember to be kind. Take care, and see you next time. All right, live from the Hive, people. Like I say at this time of the show, do not go anywhere because we have more show to come. The show usually runs about 2.5 to 3 hours. So if it hasn't been, it's been 2 hours right now. So we still got a half an hour to an hour of show left, depending on how quickly we get through the leopards eating your face video. Do you want to see why that became a meme? Because leopards will fucking eat you. Stick around and we will be right back with some man-eating leopards from Bree's Bestiary. Stick around.
We're talking about is licking toads to get high. Now, for years, various Indians of Central America have ingested the hallucinogenic secretions of toads, but that practice, according to the Drug Enforcement Administration, is against the law. At first glance, the toad does not look like a criminal.
Lick the toad, lick the toad, lick the toad, lick the toad. They call him Narco Toad. On the street, he's also known by his alias, Bufo Marinus. He and his cousin, Bufo Alvarius, are dangerous dudes. They deal in a mind-scrambling substance that defends against intruders. It all comes from a little gland behind the toad's head.
When bitten, the toad secretes a milky white fluid from its parotid glands that can poison its attacker, making them extremely ill and sometimes causing cardiac arrest.
Watch whatever crap comes on next. Coming up next.
Live from the Hive.
The organization took to their Facebook page last week to caution visitors not to lick the Sonoran desert toad. Don't lick it. If you're wondering why anyone would want to do that, well, let's explain. Apparently, this particular species of toad secretes a psychedelic toxin that leads to hallucinations if ingested, but can also make humans really sick, leaving people incapacitated for up to 30 minutes. Well, the NPS didn't say if a particular incident prompted their public service announcement, but a recent report from the New York Times says there has been an increased demand for the poison recently. Perhaps that's the reason the Park Service felt it necessary to remind visitors not to lick toads.
Ew, gross, man. You okay?
Whoa, everything's so significant. Dude, you gotta try this.
Not even. It's got your germs on it.
Not this end.
Oh, I can see the air. And you know what else?
The hallucinogenic compound of bufotoxins sometimes do create a feeling of airiness or flying and things like that, and we believe that the witches flying around on broomsticks is probably due to the toad component of the witch's brew.
While the psychedelic bufotine has been detected in dozens of toad species, Bufo alvarius is the only amphibian known to biosynthesize its O-methyl homolog, 5-MeO-DMT. The toad's neck and limbs carry numerous protuberant glands marked by pores through which venom is excreted from subcutaneous lobules that contain the enzyme responsible for biosynthetic conversion of bufotine into 5-MeO-DMT, in addition to the production of other tryptamines and cardiotoxic steroids.
Ooh, check it out, man. The licking toad. Yeah, licking toad, man. Lick the toad.
The National Park Service says if you see a toad in the wild, keep your tongue in
That
your
substance
mouth.
is bitter and foul tasting. It blocks nerve transmission. It can affect the heart. It also can get you high.
Nothing. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Huh?
These are crystallized secretions from a toad. A substance like this killed 4 people in Australia last year. In fact, possessing the secretion with intent to use it to get high is a federal offense.
In order to do any legal action against a person, we'd have to prove drug intent, that you, like conspiracy to lick a toad or conspiracy to sell a toad to lick or something of that sort.
Anything yet? Are you sure you're licking right?
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's supposed to pack an awesome buzz.
If you want to get one of these toads, forget it. The zoo tells us that Bufo marinus is restricted in California. The toad has been introduced in places like Florida, and it's done a lot of damage there. It's also a potentially dangerous toad, and certainly one you would never want to lick. Sylvia?
Never.
Ever. Ever.
No.
Okay, thanks.
All right, my beauties and bees. Hello, hello. It is time for Bree's Bestiary, and we are still in the midst of the summer of the man-eaters. So, I'm bringing you man-eaters this summer. And more than ever here recently, we've heard the term the leopard-eating face party. Voting for the leopard-eating face party. Leopards will eat your face. Yeah. Oh, I didn't think the leopards would eat my face. It's a meme, right? And the source of that meme is leopards are one of the most prevalent man-eaters in the animal kingdom. There's a few that give them a run for their money. Nile crocodiles and tigers come to mind, but leopards cover parts of 3 continents, depending on how you draw your line for the Persian leopards, but I digress. They live in a great, vast amount of area. Let me see if I can pull up the range here. Yeah, here we go. So we're going to use this one. There's a few different. Here we go. Yeah. All right. So let me pull this over here for you. All right. So leopards live everywhere the light touches. Well, historically they lived here in these orange areas. They exist in the green areas now, but historically this is their range. We know they're extinct in most of the dark orange areas. And it's unfortunate because that's kind of cool. There's a little spot in the middle of the Sahara where there's green, that we know there's a leopard there. I wonder if it's just like one little leopard or a little population or what. But as you can see, yeah, they used to extend into, well, Europe, what I would call Europe here. Like Turkey, and now they're extinct in that area. This little population right here, I mean, could be considered a European population. But I digress. I found this channel, though. It's called When Animals Attack, and they had a great video on the man-eating leopard. So we're going to watch this, estimate up to 125 people. That's crazy, right? Let's dive in.
Foothills of the Himalayas, where tranquil rivers meet its dense forests and air filled with chants from nearby temples, a relentless man-eater once cast a pall of dread over the region of Rudraprayag. This ominous presence was not just a mere figment of imagination, but a very real and deadly man-eating leopard, which would soon be etched into the annals of history as one of the most notorious man-eaters ever known. From the quiet village of Benji, where it claimed its first victim in 1918, to the sacred paths leading to the revered shrines of Kedarnath and Badranath, the leopard's reign of terror was relentless and spanned 8 long, harrowing years.
I think this is the one that crossed international borders, too, between India and Nepal?
And during this time, it wasn't just the isolated traveler who fell prey to the beast. Whole villages, in fact, were paralyzed with fear, as the leopard audaciously attacked homes, breaking down doors and even clawing through walls to get to its victims. By 1926, the official death toll stood over 125 people, but many believe the actual number to be much higher, with countless attacks going unreported. The leopard's seemingly insatiable appetite—
That was not a leopard. Hold on.
much higher, with countless attacks going unreported. The leopard—
That's a cheetah. Those are not rosettes, those are spots. Cheetahs, as far as large cats go, they don't have as much prognathysm as pantherines, because they have large nasal cavities, as you can see right here. And the shape of the ear, with the false kind of shape of the ear behind it. Mostly it's the spots, though. The spots are the dead giveaway. If you're wanting to tell the difference between a cheetah and a leopard. Cheetahs have spots, like round little spots. Leopards and jaguars, for that matter, have rosettes, which are like ring shapes with a dark patch in the middle. Well, we'll see a leopard in a second. I'll show you. And there's difference in the way that they're positioned on a leopard and a jaguar too. But we'll talk about that when we get to the jaguar as well.
leopard's seemingly insatiable appetite—
Jaguar. There we go. So there's rosettes. Yeah, rosettes are not. Some rosettes can be open. See these two who are open here. Some of them are closed, and the closed ones are more likely to have the dark patches on the middle. Now, see how small these ones are? On jaguars, they're big. They're about fist size, whereas on leopards, they can be big though, depending on the subpopulation, but they're not usually as big as the jaguar.
for human flesh, and its uncanny ability to strike with stealth and escape undetected earned it a legendary status, turning the once serene region into a landscape of fear and—
Yeah, we got cougars coming up too, but cougars don't really have spots, so you don't have any problem telling them from leopards and jaguars and cheetahs. Except for when they're babies. But when they're babies, the best way to tell if it's a cougar or some other big cat is if you're in North America, it's probably a cougar. If it has spots or rosettes like this, if it has rosettes, it shouldn't have spots. If it does have spots, yeah, call me and I'll look at it and see. But if it has rosettes, it's probably a jaguar. But you'd only see those if you were in Arizona or potentially Texas, New Mexico, or California, but not likely any of those states. But probably Arizona. Arizona's the only place only place in North America with a confirmed jaguar population. And they're completely montane, so they live in the mountains.
suspense. The leopard's reign of terror began with its first known victim, a resident of Benji village, and this occurred in 1918. Gunga Singh, a hard-working farmer from the village of Benji, had set out as usual one day to tend to his fields, expecting
Go get it, Genji!
it to be like any other day. The sun was setting, casting a warm orange hue over the terrace fields, as Gunga
Wait a second. You say is he just taking out or setting off to take care of us in the evening? What's he been doing all day?
Singh worked diligently, perhaps preparing the soil or checking on his crops. As the evening approached, the sounds of the village started to fade, replaced by the chirping of crickets and the distant call of birds. Unbeknownst to Gunga, a stealthy leopard was lurking nearby, watching and waiting for the opportune moment to strike. The next morning, a chilling...
I just love leopards so much. It's so dumb. I love leopard print so much. I should have wore leopard print today. I have the cutest leopard print dress. I should have wore that today since I was doing this episode. I didn't even think about it this morning though. This is my first time wearing this shirt too. This is a new shirt. I thrifted this though. Yeah. I like the horizontal stripes. Actually, they say that makes you look wider, but it makes my tits look huge. Look at that.
Scene awaited the villagers. Gunga Singh's lifeless body was discovered, bearing the gruesome scars of a violent struggle. The ground around him was disturbed, indicating a brief but futile resistance against the leopard. His tools lay scattered, and nearby crops were trampled, painting a grim picture of just how sudden and brutal this attack was. The village, which was now engulfed in a confusing cocktail of sorrow and fear, realizing that the rumors of the man-eating leopard were not just tales but a terrifying reality, would then begin to spread the word. As the leopard's notoriety grew, so did the tales of its audacity, and not long after...
Yeah, it's just like it just like walks into town and busts into people's houses and drags them out of their bed. This thing was bold. This was a bold ass predator, and it was I believe she had a broken canine was what the part of the problem. And I broke my canine recently, so I know how hard that can be as a vampire to acquire and subdue prey with a broken canine that you cannot properly hold on to the neck. Right? I know what that feels like.
The first incident, a heart-wrenching tragedy would once again unfold, and this time in a neighboring village. Lata Devi, a young woman known for her vibrant spirit and kind-hearted nature, had been spending a quiet evening with her family at her home. Their humble abode, like many in the village, had open windows to let in the cool mountain breeze. As the family sat together, perhaps sharing stories or discussing the day's events, suddenly and without any warning, the very same leopard, exhibiting an audacity that was beyond comprehension, made its move. With a swift
The audacity
and powerful leap, it lunged through the open window, its eyes fixed on Lata Devi. The room then erupted into chaos as family members shouted and tried to fend off the beast, but the big cat...
It'd be like you're just hanging out at home, right, with your family, and all of a sudden the leopard jumps through your window. How do you even cope with that?
Its agility and strength were unmatched, and in a matter of seconds, it had Lata Devi in its grasp, her terrified screams piercing the stillness of the night. It was at this time that neighbors, alerted by the commotion, rushed to the scene, but the speedy and powerful...
So, the thing about leopards, they do like to drop, they will drop down out of a tree, like a herd of animals will, a herd of pack animals, like, I don't know, gazelle or deer or anything like that in their habitat will gather under a tree at high noon, right? Like when it's the hottest part of the day. And the leopard will wait up in the tree and it'll pounce down into the crowd after it'll target, like set it way up in the tree. It'll target usually a baby, drop down directly onto that baby right in the middle of the herd. Everybody around it, the whole herd of the with the whole herd of, I'm sorry, I was laughing at something I read there, that licked the toad, but and it will grab that baby and scramble right back up that tree with the baby screaming, and the whole herd will bolt, right? It's crazy, and that's like a normal hunting tactic that they use. And don't think they didn't use that on us or our ancestors when we were hiding under trees during the hot part of the day. The difference is, I think, that maybe humans would have fought back and thrown rocks at it and stuff to try to get it to drop. Anyway.
The leopard, with Lata Devi in its jaws, would then vanish into the thickets. And by the time a search party was organized and torches were lit, it was tragically too late, and yet another village was left in shock and mourning. the sacred paths leading to the revered shrines of Kedarnath and Badrinath.
I'm subscribing to this channel. I like that I can actually see their artifacts from them editing this. This isn't like AI and crappy, and it's just from a year ago, so this was within the time they could have used AI, and they didn't. So I appreciate you when animals attack.
Which once echoed with chants of pilgrims and the rings of temple bells, became hauntingly quiet.
Hi, Tori. We're talking about a man-eating leopard. He'd be eating your face.
Pilgrims who once traveled in small groups began moving in large caravans, with hope that there was safety in numbers. Among these pilgrims was Ram Prasad, an elderly man who was known for his deep spirituality and kind-hearted nature. He, along with a
What was that instrument he was playing, though? Did he actually play that?
group of fellow pilgrims, not long after the last incident, was making his way through the dense forest chanting hymns and sharing tales of devotion. As the group traversed a particularly dense part of the forest, the atmosphere suddenly grew tense. The chirping of birds and the rustling of leaves had been overshadowed by an eerie silence. Unbeknownst to the pilgrims,
Hey, cute. I want to boop the snoot. I'm talking about man-eating leopards, and I still want to boop him. Boop.
they were being watched,
Him or probably her. Her? I don't know. I can't tell looking at this.
stalked by the very embodiment of terror. Just moments later, once again without any warning of course, the stealthy feline sprang from a patch of brush, its eyes locked on Ram.
God, they're so beautiful. I can't get over how pretty these cats are. The Mayans famously believed the world would end in one of four ways: fire, flood, earthquakes, or rain of jaguars. Yeah, that would be insane. Jaguars start falling from the sky. What do you even do? What do you even do at that point?
The group at this point scattered in panic, but the big cat's speed and precision of course were unparalleled, and before anyone could react,
The cheetah again. The cheetah again. Come on, dude. We can find clips of actual leopards.
it would have a screaming Ram Prasad in its deadly grip. His pleas for help
That's
drowned out
definitely
by
a
the
cheetah.
cat. It would
Look, you can even see the eye streak right there. The black cheetahs have that black streak that runs down their eye. You can even see that right there. It's inverted. The color's inverted. I think the color's inverted purposely to disguise the cheetah and pretend it's a leopard, but the spots, teaching people to be afraid of cheetahs is dumb, because cheetahs, they're not really that dangerous. I mean, they could hurt you. They could, but they're generally pretty chill dudes. The chillest of the big cats. They're not really big cats, though. They're kind of their own thing. Their closest relatives, extant relatives, I believe, are pumas and felines, which would exclude pantherines. They're closer related to your house cat than they are to a lion, for instance, or a leopard, or a jaguar.
have a screaming Ram Prasad in its deadly grip. His pleas for help drowned out by the chaos. The other pilgrims, paralyzed by fear, could at this point only watch in sheer horror as the leopard dragged Ram Prasad into the underbrush, his cries echoing hauntingly into the forest. The incident would go on to send shockwaves through the pilgrimage route, and what was once considered a sacred and peaceful journey had turned into a treacherous path, with the shadow of the man-eating leopard looming large over every step. It was at this point that stories of the big cat's audacity would become the stuff of legends. On one fateful night, as the village of Kalimath lay enveloped in darkness, the leopard, driven by its insatiable
So pretty. Look at the cheekbones on this guy. This is the Pedro Pascal of leopards. Look at that. Those eyes. That nose. Those well-groomed whiskers. The subtle strut. You are a good kitty, kitty, kitty. I want to spoop him.
hunger approached a dimly lit hut. Inside, a family was deep asleep, unaware of course of the impending threat. With a swift and silent move, the leopard would manage to break into the hut, which is when it then targeted the youngest member of the family, a child named Kishan, who'd been sleeping next to his parents. And it was at this point that the leopard would clamp its jaws around the boy's neck, ensuring he couldn't cry out for help. The family would then wake up moments later to the horrifying sight of the leopard dragging Kishan away, and despite desperate cries and attempts to chase the beast, their efforts were futile as the cunning leopard once again disappeared into the night with its prey.
Cunning leopards. The narrator's plosives are popping.
leaving the family devastated, and yet another entire village plunged into mourning, with their worst fears realized. While official records documented 125 victims to the leopard of Rudraprayag, whispers in the villages spoke of many more. Some attacks went unreported, of course, due to them having occurred in remote locations, whereas others were overshadowed by the
That's a lot of like the crocodile attacks and stuff that we're going to cover in later episodes. Are they're in such remote parts of the world that nobody even would think to report it to any kind of government authority. These are like very rural tribal communities, very isolated and insular, and islands around the South Pacific specifically, where saltwater crocodiles are.
sheer frequency of the leopard strikes. In the village of Mangoli, as evening approached, the familiar sounds of daily life began to wind down. Parvati and her younger brother Mohan...
Was that a reggae band? I think that's a reggae band. I see a Jumbi, a cajon. There's a cajon right there. There's a cajon right there. The Jumbi.
Sounds of daily life began to wind down. Parvati and her younger brother Mohan were making their way home, their voices blending with ambient sounds of the village. Parvati, with her lively spirit, was sharing stories about her eventful day, while Mohan listened intently. Their usual route took them through a patch of dense thicket, a well-trodden shortcut to their home. Engrossed in conversation, the siblings remained oblivious to the lurking danger. The notorious man-eating leopard, ever watchful, had its sights set on them. In yet another sudden and stealthy move, the leopard would then target Parvati. The beast's stealth was such that Mohan, despite being just beside her, was caught off guard, and by the time he turned to respond...
Did Homeboy have a stick or something? There's a man-eating leopard on the loose, and you're walking through the woods with your little waif of a sister. Did you have a stick to hit it with? A machete? Something? Bear spray.
to her, she was already being dragged away by the leopard. Mohan's frantic cries would then pierce the evening air, drawing villagers to the scene. The very path which symbolized the quick route home had now become a haunting reminder of the leopard's terror, and once again, yet another village.
Seriously, use the skunk method. It's proficient. You carry bear spray, you're good to go against any large predator. They don't want to be not able to see or taste for the next 16 hours. It's not going to be beneficial to them. So if you make it like, this is going to... bear spray is more efficient than firearms against animals. Almost across the board.
Village was left with an indelible mark in their collective memory. It was in the village of Kalimath that the leopard's audacity would reach new heights.
Kalimath. I don't know if that's the same thing.
Raghav's humble abode resonated with comforting sounds of family, and the aroma of a freshly cooked meal wafted through the air as Raghav, surrounded by his loved ones, shared stories from the day during a family dinner. Their laughter and chatter provided a stark contrast to the dangers that lurked outside. As the family enjoyed their meal, an ominous scratching sound echoed from the entrance. The initial confusion quickly turned to terror as they realized the source. The now legendary man-eating leopard was attempting to breach their sanctuary. The sturdy wooden door would resist the beast's initial attempts, but the leopard, relentless in its pursuit, would then shift its focus to the softer mud walls. With each scratch and dig, the leopard carved an opening.
Those are not leopards. Audience, how do we know these aren't leopards? Hive, how do we know this isn't a leopard and that it's a different cat? And what cat is this? I told you how to identify it. Obviously the outline is a dead giveaway too, and the mane, because this cat has a small mane, but I see spots and not rosettes, right? It's got a shortened face, more like a feline than a pantherine. It's got short, rounded ears with the false ear outline. You can see that more on this one. It has the tear streak, right, on both sides of the eye. You can see it right there too on this one. This is a cheetah.
Determination evident. The room grew tense, the only sounds being the leopard scratching and clawing and the family's hushed breaths. Time seemed to stretch endlessly until finally, a breach was made, and what was once a dimly lit room was suddenly illuminated.
We got to start using the baboon method when this stuff happens. Instead of hiding inside and being quiet, you get all loud and aggressive. Start banging pots and stomping around and making a nuisance of yourself, making it known that they're there. You run outside holding torches, swinging them around, and scream and yell and get the neighbors alerted. I'm not telling other people how to live their life. It's a very superstitious people. They think that the leopards are basically like the devil, right?
Illuminated by the gleaming eyes of the leopard as it made its entrance.
Shaitan, is that how you say it?
Raghav and his family, frozen in their spots, could only hope and pray as they faced the embodiment of what was their worst nightmare right in the heart of their home. The leopard, with its predatory gaze, scanned the room, its attention shifting from one terrified face to the other. And for a few brief but seemingly long moments, the room was filled with a tense silence, broken only by the soft growls of the leopard and the muffled sobs of the children. This is when Raghav, summoning all his courage, slowly reached for a heavy wooden staff that lay nearby. Without taking his eyes off the leopard, he then whispered to his family to slowly move to the back of the room. And just as they did this, the clever leopard's attention was then drawn to Raghav, almost as if it was sensing his intent. And this was when, with a sudden roar, it lunged at him. A desperate Raghav, using the staff, would then manage to fend off the initial attack, giving his family...
It's been a couple weeks ago since we did the tiger. I was just looking real quick. If you had a chainsaw, the critters hate those too. LOL, yes, I'll hush. Yeah, when next time you have some bears making a playground in your backyard, you get your chainsaw out and rev it up a couple of times. Might scare them off. Yeah? I don't know. Just talk.
Precious seconds to escape to a safer part of the house. The struggle between man and beast was intense, as the room echoed with the sounds of growls, shouts, and the clattering of objects being knocked over. Just as it seemed that the leopard would overpower Raghav, a loud bang echoed through the room, as a neighboring villager, alerted by the commotion, had fired a shot from his rifle, narrowly missing the leopard, but startling it enough for it to retreat. The leopard, realizing it was now outnumbered, would then make a hasty exit through the very same opening it had created, disappearing into the night. Raghav, though shaken and with a few scratches, was alive, and the village would rally around the family, providing comfort and support. Amidst the biting cold winter of 19...
So, I mean, it's like a sort of toss-up which is a more dangerous man-eater, tigers or leopards. We talked about tigers a couple weeks ago, and yeah, the most prolific individual was a tiger, but leopards, I think, have more cases, and they definitely have more of a widespread range, right?
In 21, the villagers of Tilwara sought solace and warmth around the communal fire. As the flames danced and flickered, casting a warm glow on their faces, the villagers were huddled closely, their breaths visible in the chilly air. The atmosphere was one of camaraderie, with laughter echoing.
There's our reggae band playing around the fire. This would be a good time to begin a tradition of a song and dance routine intended to fend off animals. Loud singing, noisy instruments, large movements. It works for a while, but if you're camping and they know you have food, they will return, or at least that happened when we were camping in Cali. Gunshots sure didn't work, yeah. You think the bear spray would work, though?
And the occasional song filling the night. Vijay, a spirited young man known for his storytelling prowess, was recounting a particularly engaging tale. His animated expressions and vivid descriptions had everyone's rapt attention, but unbeknownst to them, another unwelcome set of eyes was also drawn to the gathering. Lurking at the periphery of the firelight's reach was the man-eating leopard, its eyes fixated on the unsuspecting group. As the tales grew more and more animated and the night deepened, the leopard would then see an opportunity, and with a stealth that belied its size, it crept...
So it waits for the people to get drunk is kind of funny, because, late at night, there's a lot of rural farmers and stuff, so in the evening they're sitting around the fires outside, they're having some drinks and laughing and telling stories and having fun. And the leopard waits until they get lit. Yeah. Big cats or polar bears? Well, as a human or like against each other? Polar bears, we do have polar bears. That's scheduled for polar bears. Still a ways off. That's September 6th is we're doing polar bears. August 30th, we're doing tiger sharks. We'll do lions on August 23rd. And we got crocodiles on August 16th. And next week we have brown bears, which is going to be, I think we're going to talk about the bear attack in Japan. So that'll be cool. Yeah.
Closer, each step deliberate and silent. And before anyone could register its presence, the leopard would then spring forth from the shadows, which is when the leopard's powerful jaws would then clamp onto Vijay's...
Yeah, and if you like drunk storytelling, make sure you tune in to Dr. Ben's new channel, Holy Spirit, and watch the comedic stylings of people such as Sidney Davis Jr., or I guess it's Sidney Davis Johan now, but regardless, go check that out. It's a fun time. They tell different religious stories while inebriated. And he has new guests on every week. So it's a fun time. Also, while I'm plugging things, we're also formulating some different soap. So here's the bee soap. If you want to order that, it's got the live from the hive type bee on it. And this is the whole hive. Oh, is it going to adjust? Hold on. With the queen bee. See, there's Queen Bee, the queen bee. And there's the hive. Each one of those little cells is one of you guys. Gosh, these smell so good. It's like oatmeal honey, I think, which is great for the bee theme, but yeah. Smells good. All right, I'll stop shilling now.
Muffling any scream he attempted to let out. The force of the attack and the leopard's momentum dragged him away from the fire, his feet leaving a trail in the soft earth. The remaining villagers, frozen by the sudden turn of events, could only watch in horror as the comforting warmth of the fire, which moments ago had been a source of joy and unity, now seemed mocking in its brightness, casting long shadows that seemed to echo the terror of the night. The chilling silence that followed was broken only by the crackling of the fire and the soft whimpers of those who had just witnessed the unimaginable. At this point, the leopard's reign of terror had reached such proportions that it was no longer just a local concern, but had become a matter of state urgency. The government, recognizing the gravity of the situation, would then take decisive action. They dispatched units of Gurkha soldiers known for their bravery and combat skills to patrol the affected areas. Alongside them, British soldiers, armed with the latest rifles and guided by local trackers, scoured the forests and hills.
You don't need a soldier, you need a hunter, right? That's the response you give. I don't need a soldier, I need a hunter.
In search of the elusive beast. The locals, of course, too, were desperate at this point to end the nightmare. They would set up high-powered gin traps, which were large mechanical devices designed to clamp on to the leopard's limbs in hopes of immobilizing it. And poison baits were also strategically placed near known paths of the leopard, hoping to end its reign with a single lethal meal. The government, in a bid to incentivize its capture, would then announce substantial rewards for anyone who would kill or capture the beast. This would attract many renowned hunters from across the country, each confident in their skills and eager to claim the
You don't have to spray your beers. You do you.
prize. But the leopard, with its uncanny intelligence and adaptability, seemed to always be one step ahead. It avoided the traps, steered clear of poison baits, and managed to elude even the most experienced hunters. It wasn't until this backdrop of mounting desperation that Jim Corbett, a name synonymous with big game hunting, would enter the scene in the autumn of 19...
Jim Corbett. Yeah. Here to take care of your man-eater, because that's his specialty. The great white hunter embodied. Yeah. It's like a Rudyard Kipling character come to life.
25. Corbett was not just any hunter. In case you don't know, he was a legend known for his unmatched tracking skills and deep understanding of the jungle and its inhabitants. In fact, he had previously hunted down several man-eaters, and his reputation preceded him. Upon his arrival, Corbett spent weeks studying the leopard's patterns, its preferred routes, and its hunting techniques. He even interviewed locals.
Are you discussing the Emu War, Sapphire? Yeah.
Visited the attack sites, and meticulously pieced together the puzzle. The hunt was a game of patience and strategy, and there were many close encounters where Corbett didn't even see the leopard, but his instincts had told him that it was nearby, watching him from the shadows. It wasn't until the fateful night of the 2nd of May in 1926 that the climax
I can't help it. I just like leopards. They're so pretty.
of this intense cat-and-mouse game, if you will, would finally present itself. Corbett, after weeks of
That wasn't a mouse. That was a gerbil. Oh, God, I'm being such a pedant. Pedant? I'm being such a pedant. I said it wrong. That really makes it worse.
tracking and waiting, would finally track the leopard and manage to get a clear shot. And with a single bullet, he ended the 8-year-long reign of terror, and the beast that had haunted the dreams of the people of Rudraprayag lay defeated, bringing an end to a chapter that would forever be etched in the annals of history. The mystery surrounding the leopard of Rudraprayag's transformation into a man-eater has for a long time been a subject of much speculation and debate. What factors could drive an animal which typically preys on smaller mammals to develop such a voracious appetite for human flesh?
They'll bite you on the hiney, it's just shown there.
Corbett, having spent considerable time studying and hunting man-eaters, developed a theory of his own. He postulated that the leopard's initial taste for human flesh might have in fact been accidental, stemming from the unfortunate circumstances of the time. The earlier 20th century
That was a cheetah, and Corbett never killed a cheetah. As far as I know, I mean, like, never a man-eating cheetah.
It was a challenging period for Rudraprayag. Disease epidemics, particularly
You will never see a cheetah on the summer of the man-eater. You'll see a coyote on there before you see a cheetah on there.
cholera, swept through villages claiming countless of lives. Additionally, the world was grappling with the devastating effects of the Spanish flu in 1918, a pandemic that left millions dead globally. In the remote villages of Rudraprayag, the sheer number of deaths meant that not all bodies received proper burials. Some were left exposed, either due to fear of contagion or the sheer and
Bye, Ember. Thank you for hanging out.
overwhelming number of deceased. Corbett believed that the leopard, possibly while scavenging, might have come across these unburied bodies, thus developing a taste for human flesh. And once it realized that the humans were easy prey, especially in a region where they were abundant
He just said exactly what you said right there, going after the easy prey.
and accessible, the leopard's hunting patterns permanently shifted, as did its preference of prey. Parallels with other man-eaters like the infamous Pinar leopard, which also turned to human prey, contributed to his conclusion. Today the terror of the past is but a distant memory, yet it has managed to leave a permanent mark on Rudraprayag. Till today, a signboard stands tall at the very spot where the leopard's reign of terror was brought to an end by Jim Corbett's bullet, serving not just as a grim reminder of the past, but also as a tribute to the resilience and spirit of the people of Rudraprayag. Not just as a grim reminder of the past, but also as a brought to an end. Till today, a signboard stands tall.
Okay, that's that. It looked like it said 1924 to me when I was flipping through there. I was like, I thought it said it was 1926.
The very spot where the leopard's reign of terror was brought to an end by Jim Corbett's bullet, serving not just as a grim reminder of the past, but also as a tribute to the resilience and spirit of the people of Rudraprayag. And every year, a fair is organized in the region, drawing locals and tourists alike. Here, amid the festivities, the tale of the man-eating leopard of Rudraprayag is till this day recounted and passed down from one generation to the next. If this episode piqued your interest, then our previous episode about a man that was mauled by a moose not far from his home is likely to do the same. You can find it on the end screen.
Well, we won't be doing moose maulings for the summer of the man-eater either, but I do like this channel, so I did subscribe to it. Got shark attacks recently. Let's see what else they have. We're not gonna, like, every week we aren't gonna do the same channel. I don't do that. I spotlight different channels every week that cover the topic. Like if you're interested in talking and learning about man-eaters though, then I'll be like, here, look at this. The cocaine killer, vicious dog attacks. I got a cougar there. Looks like a lot of AI art here, but there didn't seem to be a lot of AI art in the videos themselves. At least not that one we just watched. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I like these thumbnails better down here. All right, so we're going to wrap Bree's Bestiary up right here. Next week, as previously mentioned, we are covering, what was it? Oh yeah, manatee and brown bears, and we're going to go be visiting Japan for that. The polls will be up though for the rest of the show. So thank you so much for joining us for Bree's Bestiary. Remember to be kind. Take care. We'll see you next time. All right. That's going to be the show. Yeah, next week we also, it looks like I got Kent Hovind up. I haven't asked anybody to come on to be my sidekick for that. I'm not having Kent Hovind on. I'm having Kent Hovind on Charlatan's Web. The Dinosaur Adventureland Compound. I might hit up Grayson and see if he's free. I don't know, because he's actually been there. But we'll find something funny, Hovind says, and make light of it and have some fun. That's next Friday. And then, yeah, like I said, next Saturday, back here live from the Hive. Thursday, as always, Transpositions Weekly. I will be joined by Ember. I'll be joined by Stephanie Helms and be joined by Carly Chardonnay Webb as we take you through the latest news coming out of the world of LGBT, with emphasis on the T, communities around the globe. Whether that's good news, bad news, sports news, entertainment news, we will try to keep you in the know, and we will try to spotlight things that are happening that affect us as transgender people in the communities around the world. All right, so I appreciate everybody who stuck around and hung out with me. Had a pretty good turnout, all things considered. Got 25 of you watching now, which is not bad. I will take it. Maybe I need to refresh. It might not be 25 anymore, but yeah, we are going to be. I think I got it set up to kick us like automatically over to Iron Rock because he's always streaming when I'm right at the time when I finish here, which is like 11:30ish at my time. But yeah, I'm gonna kick y'all over there. But before I do, I just wanted to let y'all know that I appreciate everybody sticking by me. It's been a rough. The last couple of years have been pretty rough, honestly. There's times I just didn't think I was going to make it through. I'm pretty low right now, honestly, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that what the future might hold. So if you want to help my hope flourish, there's links to different different ways that you can support that's been dropped in the chat here by PC, including links to the Buy Me a Coffee. I have channel memberships. I have Patreon. A lot of ways you can support me. I've got adult content there if you wanna indulge in that. I don't mind. I'm really really a very liberated, a sexually liberated woman, so I'm not offended or weirded out by anybody partaking in that. I have the Cryptic Corner t-shirts that you saw Captive Desk wearing that are available, and apparently they're very comfortable and they hold their color good and stuff. That was a couple weeks ago when we talked about Todd Standing. I got the hoodies too. My dear friend Sandy got a hoodie and with the Hive Psi logo on it, and she says it's pretty warm and cozy. We'll see how it holds up against those North Carolina winters, though, if it holds up at all. But I'm hopeful. And we got beanies and socks and stuff too, all kinds of stuff. If you want something something for your support, I definitely have it there for you. Again, we're trying to get this off the ground with these that smell so good. So we got that. I should have had my Cryptic Corner shirt ready. I should keep that ready on a hanger every Saturday morning to show it off and show how cute it is. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you sticking around. Whatever you just watching is support enough, really. Just the fact that you all come here every week, hitting the like button hitting that bell. Voting on the polls helps me show up in the algorithm. So when you vote on my polls or comment on my silly memes that I post in community pages, if you interact with that stuff, it helps me too. So yeah, that's just throwing those things out there if you want to find a passive way to support the channel. Welcome back, John Hudson. Just you catching the very tail end of the show, but I appreciate you returning. Hopefully your choring is not keeping you too busy to be able to tune in and hear the familiar voices. Yeah, it is 86 already here. It's only 11:30, so it's going to get a lot hotter. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap up here. Please remember to be kind, take care, and we will see you next time.
Now gather round, children. I'll tell you a tale about valiant squid and some bloodthirsty whales. A battle that rages deep in the blue sea, far from the surface, from you and from me. Squid and whales in the battle of the century. Squid and whales were determined to conquer the sea. Suction cups and giant beaks versus dorsal fins, blubber and meat. Some giant squid with giant eyes versus sperm whales of massive sizing. Suckers, hooks, and tentacles against the earth's largest mammals. The mighty titans of the sea in battle for their destiny. And the cephalopods sing. Squid and whales, 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 squid and whales.
With all the noise, pseudoscience, and political rhetoric clogging the airwaves about transgender people, it can be difficult to understand what's really happening and what's really true. Good news, everyone! Welcome to The Transpositions, your compass in the rugged landscape of transgender issues. Here, we strive to be the beacon of authenticity, providing a platform that amplifies the voices and experiences of the transgender community. From breaking news to in-depth features to breaking down the real science, we are committed to fostering understanding, empathy, and empowerment for all individuals across the gender spectrum. Join us as we navigate the complexities, celebrate the triumphs, and advocate for the rights of transgender people worldwide. Together, we can redefine boundaries, challenge stereotypes, and champion inclusivity. Subscribe today. The link is in the description.